world drowning in noise, what is truth? Confusion is weaponized. Doubt is a currency. Ancient heresies, repackaged for a new generation, spread in an instant. The foundations of the Christian faith are challenged every single day. This is the front line. This is Noibahdi Apologetics. We are not a sanctuary from the questions. We are the arena where they are met. Welcome to the plot. We do two things here. First, we defend. This is the gauntlet. We don't believe in echo chambers. We don't hide from hard conversations. We run towards the challenge. You think that's wrong? You believe you have the argument that dismantles it? Good. We've been waiting for you. Right now, the guest request line is open. If you're a skeptic, a member of another faith, or a Christian who simply disagrees, we are challenging you to speak. Get in the queue. Prepare your argument. We will see you in the arena, live. But defending is only half the mission. After the challenge comes the armory. After the debate comes the deep dive. This is where we build. For the next several hours, we will go beyond the sound bites. We will open the scriptures. We will read the saints. We will explore the deep history, philosophy, and theology of the Orthodox faith together. This is not for the faint of heart. This is where we equip the one body, where we turn doubt into understanding, and understanding into unshakable confidence. The gauntlet is thrown. The study is prepared. The show starts now. One body. Truth needs defenders. In a world drowning in noise, what is truth? Confusion is weaponized. Doubt is a currency. Ancient heresies, repackaged for a new generation, spread in an instant. The foundations of the Christian faith are challenged every single day. This is the front line. This is Noibahdi Apologetics. We are not a sanctuary from the questions. We are the arena where they are met. Welcome to the plot. We do two things here. First, we defend. This is the gauntlet. We don't believe in echo chambers. We don't hide from hard conversations. We run towards the challenge. You think that's wrong? You believe you have the argument that dismantles it? Good. We've been waiting for you. Right now, the guest request line is open. If you're a skeptic, a member of another faith, or a Christian who simply disagrees, we are challenging you to speak. Get in the queue. Prepare your argument. We will see you in the arena, live. But defending is only half the mission. After the challenge comes the armory. After the debate comes the deep dive. This is where we build. For the next several hours, we will go beyond the sound bites. We will open the scriptures. We will read the saints. We will explore the deep history, philosophy, and theology of the Orthodox faith together. This is not for the faint of heart. This is where we equip the one body, where we turn doubt into understanding, and understanding into unshakable confidence. The gauntlet is thrown. The study is prepared. The show starts now. One body. Truth needs defenders.
Yo, welcome to the show. All right, what's going on, everyone? How's everybody doing today? We are about to have our Monday show. Trinity is true topic challenge. Again, these are still test shows. This is not the official episode 1 of the show, but we're slowly rolling out the full itinerary of what will be the full show. So we're gonna do our squabbles today. We're gonna get a few squabbles, and then we're gonna do another reaction today. How's everybody doing? Let me check my chats. Timo said, "Yo, this Junko Harmo." Appreciate you, Timo. What up, Jackie? What up, Shaw? What's going on, Micah? What's up, Medi? What's up, Nate? What's going on? How y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing good today. I've started back school. AJ, what up? What's going on, AJ? When's the official? So the official show starts once I'm done with the study curriculum. So once I am done laying out the study or getting the study fully developed, then we'll start like officially. But it's taking a little bit longer just because one is just me, and two still in school, started back in school. What's up, Brent? Brent, how you doing? So started back school and it's just me. So once that's done though, it'll be done. My goal is by the top of the year. So by the beginning of the year, it'll like officially start. That's the goal. That is the goal. But yeah. Ashby, what's going on? How's it going? How y'all doing? Anybody have any good news reports at all? I'll start first. I woke up today. There's people out here that did not do that. So we are grateful for that. Definitely woke up today. I have been doing like a little, not like a crisis, like a mini, like deciding what I want to do when it comes to this. I want to balance certain things, and I was able to get, I won't say resolved, but at least progressed. So that's a good thing. Grateful in that. Jackie said, yes, business is booming this week, leading up to the holidays. Glory to God. Amen. Amen. I'm glad. I've been praying for you, Jackie. Word. What time's it? 12? So depending on what we choose to react to today, we may even do a little bit of a study on like a certain scripture or a particular theological topic. Cowboys beat the Eagles. Heck yeah. Again, by Texas law, I have to agree with you. So, correct. No reactions. You're forgetting something. What am I forgetting? I'm forgetting something? Oh, my gallon. When we react, that's when I'll bring it out. I'll bring the gallon out once we react to something. And it's not a gallon, but for you, it'll be a gallon, brother. It'll be a gallon of you, Maurice. Imagine. The options that we have today as far as reacting, though, which is, I'm glad you brought that up. Let me see. What's the action? Oh, okay. So there is the Christian versus Jewish versus Muslim women, the bridge thing. I think that's the one where God Logic's wife is on. There's that. Uh, the Agan versus Islamic Apex debate. Is Tawheed logical debate? There's that one. Um, and then there is another that could be of like y'all suggestion if y'all came across something that you wanted to react to or wanted to see a reaction to. Right, saying Agan, Apex, Agan. Okay. There's also the deity of Christ, Tiger versus Central Daiwa, by the way. If you do Agan versus Apex, make sure you react as an Oriental Orthodox. I couldn't even do that if I wanted to. I'll just give a, 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 a Eastern Orthodox viewpoint and just try, like I do it every debate, break down both sides. And you know what's crazy? I was talking to this about somebody. Like, folks really bent out of shape with my debate commentaries. Like, I literally had to block folks. Actually, like I legit had to block folks because they was legit tweaking and tripping on about a commentary. About a commentary, which is me trying to represent both sides and what they're trying to say so that the audience can understand. That's the point of these commentaries. For those that don't really know what's going on because they're using a bunch of big words and nobody understands, me to try to understand it, break it down, and see what they're trying to say for one another. That's it. Ashley says, how was liturgy yesterday? What do you think on the passage in Luke? Liturgy was great. I had missed the previous Sunday because I overslept and I was highly upset. I was highly upset that I had overslept. But passage in Luke, we read, so the gospel, we read Ephesians, and then was the gospel reading Luke? Was about the treasure, about the man having his treasure, burying his treasure, and she says it was Jesus called him a fool, basically. That one, right? That was it, right? Yep. Richmond building the barn. That's so cool that everybody has the same reading. That's actually kind of the beauty about Orthodoxy, right? Like, everybody's having the same reading, but every priest is gonna give a different homily on the same reading. So it's still dope. Like, regardless, it's still a diversity. Yeah, my priest homily was going on that good on that. He basically was saying along the lines of like, he was showing how Christ was saying how the man's was out of his mind. He broke down the Greek of like, yo, how Jesus is saying that his view mindset toward it was he was out of his mind. And so he said something profound, at least for me. He was like, so when we're ever talking about the Orthodox phronema, like the mindset, right? Remember that every time you ignore the poor, or every time you not seeing Christ in someone else, it basically something along those lines, along like the principle of the rich man having a treasure but burying it and not sharing it, and because he can't keep it, right, is akin to us having Christ, the wealth of all wealths, and not sharing and showing Christ to others out of your mind. What up, peace? Mine said that your priest said it's better to be rich in spirit than a fool in wealth. That's dope too. That's very dope. And it's true. Very true. And again, the beauty about orthodoxy is that these different homilies is all still the mind of Christ, right? Like it's all still Christ's mindset and how we are to operate in the world. And though it's a struggle, it is our duty. Rich in Christ instead of rich in wealth. Amen. And harmonize how you rich in Christ, right? Through the sacraments. What are one of the sacraments? Almsgiving, right? Helping the poor, taking care of the poor, being a blessing to others, right? You know, that stuck with me though. That stuck with me as far as like, remembering the poor. Because he basically said something like, when you're wanting your blessing, when you're looking for your next blessing, remember the poor, right? Like, because I'm, regardless of what you may think about a person that's panhandling or asking for money here and there, right? You don't know what they're going through. They might be looking for a blessing, right? And they're asking God, where's the next blessing? Where's my next blessing? Like, I need a blessing. And you ignore that, when God may be sending you to be that said blessing. But then you also asking for a blessing. So I think for me, that was kind of profound as far as like seeing Christ in others and the reciprocal relationship between us and God and then us to the world, you know? Because for us, Christ is the mediator between God and man, right? But we are the mediators between the world and Christ, right? Christ sends us to go and make disciples, go and bring people to him. And then he brings them to the Father, you know? So I think it's a very beautiful thing. I think it's a very beautiful thing. What's the argument for the Trinity? Like, there's different arguments for the Trinity. There's biblical arguments. There's like metaphysical arguments. It just depends. It's the biblical argument for the Trinity. The biblical argument is that the Bible clearly teaches that there's one God. The Bible also teaches that the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are God. All right. Yet, at the same time, the Bible also teaches that there's a distinction between the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. That they're not each other. They're distinguished from one another. The only logical explanation for that is the concept of the Trinity. Refute the LPT. There is no LPT for the Trinity. There's no LPT. LPT is one big category error. Especially for the Eastern Orthodox that hold to monarchical Trinitarianism. There's really no LPT for the monarchical Trinitarian model. Maybe for a social, but even then, I don't think I think there's still an explanation around it. LPT is just played out. LPT is a CIA psyop. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me check the YouTube chat. Deborah Zeke Bent said hi. Hoffmantel said hi. Hi guys. How you doing? um yeah. Do we really not have any ops? What's going on? Let's like up the live. We already got a 10K. Let's try to get it to 20K. Let's share the live. Repost the live. We ain't got no type of ops yet. That's crazy. Is anybody else live right now? Where everybody at? Yeah. Oh. God Logic is live. With peace. Dang, peace. It's not good. Let's get it, Abraham Nations. It's funny how you say they're scared of me, right? They scared of me, but they will speak about me. Like they'll have entire lives talking about me. It's so insane, right? They'll gather information, right? They'll still say these things. Like you got these fangirls that will say, "Oh, he said this and he said that and he said this and they said that," but they won't debate to prove that the things that I said are one, absurd or incoherent or anything of the line. Like, for example, Kiki, who's a oneness, she said she can't track the save of her life, but she said that she asked me, is hypostasis substance? I said, well, it will be primary substance. Hypostasis will be primary substance. This is what I said. And he said, wait, isn't that being? I said, well, no. I said, primary substance will be the individual or person. It just be the person. She, for some reason in their brains, they now think that I've said three beings. I don't know why in their head it works that way. I don't know why it works that way in their head. I do know why, actually. Because they listen to Danny. They listen to an atheist that can't ground knowledge. They listen to an atheist that can't ground knowledge, that is obsessed with me. And they rather, and this is the sad part, they'd rather listen to an atheist. They'd rather listen to an atheist than my articulation and actually understanding what I'm saying. Hypostasis would be primary substance. It's facts. When we articulate, because they even asked me, wait, so then do you hold to Aristotelian metaphysics? I said, no, I hold to the church. That means that there's not an absolute identity. How Aristotle uses it and how the church uses it. Because when Aristotle uses it, he's talking about universal and particulars. We don't believe God is universal, nor are the persons particulars of that same universal. However, the construct, if they're actually trying to understand and they're actually trying to be genuine, which we know heretics are not. Yes, primary substance will be person, secondary substance is essence. But if they're trying to understand, if they actually tried to understand and be genuine, but we know they're not disingenuous. The construct is simply to akin to what Aristotle is saying. It's more akin to, not absolutely identical, because like I said, we don't hold to God being a universal or particular, and the persons being particulars. They are transcendent, and they are whole, WHOLLY, God. So it can't be exactly the same thing as Aristotle. But for you to grasp the concept, right, that the persons are not each other, there is a relational distinction between them, and it's real, therefore they would be concrete. The most akin metaphysical frame of that would be hypostasis or primary substance. But they're not genuine enough right, to have the conversation about it. They're not intellectual enough to actually grasp the understanding. And then they'll talk mess, but then won't come in, let's squabble about it then. If you're saying that I'm saying something wrong and absurd, okay, let's talk about it then. Let's talk about it then. I got an op. They're not in the guest request. But they don't want to. They're not able to. What's up, Marie? They don't want to. They're not able to. What they do love to do, and what they are able to, is simply run their mouths without any backup. And they don't actually defend. For instance, for example, this is a prime example of a person that runs and yaps gingivitis, but does not and cannot defend their own doctrine. Walter 7. That man could not defend his doctrine to save his life, which is why he don't form a debate. You want to know who else? Surreal as well. Did I see TJ? No, I didn't see TJ's post. I did not see TJ's post. What did TJ post? All right, Blackout as well. Blackout said, "Oh, Dom's scared to debate me. Dom's scared to debate me on Trinity, just metaphysics." Who? When did I say that? If he would like to, if Blackout would like to formally debate me about the Trinity using only metaphysics, we can get that popping. We can get that popping. What? There's no problem. No problem at all. Whatsoever. But he won't do it because he can't formally debate. He's not able to. Same thing with Surreal. Surreal said, oh, I just have conversations. I just have conversations. Yeah, but the issue is that he don't just have conversations when it matters. Like he'll present himself in some way. Like when I'm actually in the room. But then when I'm not there, or when he think I'm not there, he be talking crazy. Like I ain't never said nothing crazy about Surreal whatsoever. But he'll be talking crazy to his uncle. To his skin discoloration having uncle, Walter. But in person, it don't work that way. And he only has quote unquote conversations on his live. He'll never come up like to my live for a conversation. Same thing with Walter. Because they got power trip hungry. They just power trip hungry. See, I'll go and I'll actually talk. They don't have the courage to do so. Marie said post about social Trinitarianism. I didn't. But if I remember correctly, I said that social Trinitarians. I said all Trinitarians have the same core belief. Now TJ, because again, he's stupid. TJ doesn't think. He thinks core belief and full belief are the same thing. I'll guess. I can probably just predict what the post was about. I haven't seen it. But he's probably somehow, some way equivocating me saying that all Trinitarians that are Trinitarian have the same core belief, right? Same core belief, and then he's going to equivocate that with saying that, oh, social Trinitarians, all social Trinitarians and everything, they believe the same thing. Something along those lines. I bet you that's probably what happened. Yes, an idiot. He's an idiot. Exactly. I didn't even have to see the post, and I knew that's probably what happened. He's dumb. But I bet you he didn't post probably clip the comment or whatever. I bet you he didn't post the comment when I said, yeah, as in they all believe in one God in three persons. Because that's what I said. When I said core belief, that's what I articulated it as and qualified it as. But again, TJ's an idiot. TJ's dumb. TJ's not actually smart. TJ got D's in high school. So what do you expect, right? What do you possibly expect? Again, on everything, I have not seen the post. I haven't seen the post, but I know for a fact because that's how ignoramuses act. That's how ignoramuses act. That's probably what happened. And lo and behold, those who saw the post said that's what happened. Just predicting his stupidity. He doesn't know what core belief and same belief, total belief is, because he's an idiot. Hello, Light. How you doing? We can't take them seriously. They are not fully there, you know? Apparently, TJ made a post about me because I said that Trinitarians, all Trinitarians, social, whatever, hold to the same core belief. Specifically, I said core belief. TJ, and I predicted, and I haven't seen it, I predicted TJ conflated core belief with total belief and probably lied and said something along the lines of, I said socials and monarchals and whatever all believe the same thing. And Marie and Justice saw the post and said, that is what he did. Didn't even have to see it. Didn't even have to see it. I can predict stupidity from a mile away. So, for all of those that do have brains, which is all of you, all Trinitarians have the same core belief, which is one God in 3 distinct persons. There's not a single Trinitarian model where that's not the belief. That's why it's the core belief. Oh, man. And it's crazy because these are adults, guys. Like, these people are driving on our streets. These people are voting. These people are you know, people have jobs in society, you know? It's insane. It's so insane. Like, for real, they are. They are driving on the streets. They're the cause of all traffic. Like, for real. It's so wild. Them type of folks that don't put on their blinker. Them type of folks that think doing 70 and a 50 is okay. Like, the type of folks that don't let you over. You know what I'm saying? You want to get over, you know what I'm saying? They rather get into an accident than let you over. That's them type. That's TJ and them. That's their type. that's that type of people. You know? They argue with cops. Twin said, wait, I do 70 and 50. Well, listen, Twin, see. Twin, you chose to out yourself. So, hey, man, listen. you chose to out yourself. I don't even know why you even did that. That's illegal, Twin. It's not okay. You can't do 70 and a 50. It's not all right. It's not, can't break the rules like that. But the rest of them, yeah, you know what I'm saying? They put pineapple on their pizzas. They eat a hot dog plain, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't put nothing on their hot dogs, like, you know what I mean? Like, just them type of peoples. It's like people that don't need to be in society for real. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Hit dogs hollering in the comments, ain't they? No, I'm just playing. But you know, they just the type, you know what I'm saying? They just that type. They just that type, bro. They just that type that just you don't, it's just like, all right, bro. You don't take them serious at all. We really don't have any ops. That's crazy. Where are the oppositions? Is it because of the time of the day? Highway be crazy. Yeah, the highway do be crazy, and be crazy because of those type of people. Almost outing themselves, beating people doesn't speak them very. I'm saying, like. I was running a debate with Lee today. Mr. Lee? Oh yeah? That was funny. Yo, prayed to Mary for the first time. Like, what? Hold on! Yo, Timo said he asked Mary for intercession for the first time last week. Yo! Dang, stuff must have got really bad, bro. You okay? You good? You good? What happened? You like, you okay? Yeah, all right. Make sure you're good though, cause oh, Sam Shamoon, that's crazy. So all the work I done did, I don't really mean nothing. Sam Shamoon help you see. Sam Shamoon say the same thing I said. Sam Shamoon said the same thing I said. Now I click. That's crazy. That's wild. Well, listen, whoever gets you there, man. One man plant, another man waters. God gives the increase, I guess. You know. I saw her as just a vessel. Sam showed how disrespectful that was. Oh, so the same thing I said. same tune I sang. He just sang it a little better. You like his runs and riffs better than mine, huh? I guess. That's cool. Same tune, same notes, same lyrics. Bar for bar, you know what I'm saying? But because he made you feel bad, it's different. That. Cause I treated you like the homie. And I was, saying, patient with you. It's different. It don't hit the same. Cool. I'm about to be hella forceful with you now from now on. Now I'm just playing. He said he felt bad. And you cried. Word. Yeah, man. I mean, again, I've been saying, right? Like once you understand, it's hard to see disrespect or take disrespect because you get it, right? Like that's his mom, that's his mother, that's his mom. She nursed him. Exactly. Timo said, for example, you disrespect my homie's moms, we got a problem. Exactly. 100%. 110%. Yeah. She nursed him, she carried him, she watched him grow up, she raised him, and gave him over to. Like, to say she's just a nice lady is crazy work. Not saying you were saying, I'm saying that's what some people will say and do. She was a nice lady, blessed lady, she was blessed, but no, bro, chill out, bro. Greatest of creation, blessed amongst all women, forever, for real, for real. Okay, well, it seems like we're not gonna get any ops. It's been 40 minutes. Seems like we're not gonna get any ops anytime soon. So we may have to do some ops on the back end. So let's pull up this debate. and we will we'll go from there.
And if
We're
he
both
doesn't,
right here.
Whoa. Skip to 133. Is this man playing Minecraft on the bro? Alright, I need to find a different one. Why is he playing Minecraft, bro? On the on the thing. Do inspiring philosophy versus Daniel Pikachu. I think I already did it. I already did that. Is there? I don't want to have to watch Minecraft, bro. Why this debate is going on, bro? I think Bryce J did a reaction to it too. Yeah. I see Bryce's reaction is right here, but I want to react to it myself. Oh, is this it?
Be here, or can I drop?
No, you can drop. So he confirmed,
All right,
right?
so
Are you
did you
ready?
get the clip?
Before you drop, Cyril, can you confirm?
I can't.
This is it, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay. In denying.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this is it. Are we good? We good. All right, y'all. About to react to Agan versus Anas on Tawheed's logical consistency or whatever. It's Tawheed illogical. We got a bunch of people. What Discord is this? The heck? Am I part of this Discord? Might be. But yeah, I see my bitter baby mom. We see some familiar faces. We see my bitter baby mother, Danny. We see Cyril. You know what I'm saying? It's friend of the live. Who else we see in here? Of course, Agan and Apex or Anus. I don't recognize anybody else in this piece, but all right, let's get it started. You got your snacks, get your snacks going. Let's get it. Gotta get the gallon. Hold on. Or is Maurice gonna be upset? Hold up. Let's get the gallon going. Give me 1 second. Okay. Gotta have it on that. Plus, we got our popcorn popping. You know. All right, y'all. Now we ready. Let's get it.
The Trinity, did you know that you deny God as he is defined as an omniscient being? Would you like the
Oh, that's
argument
just
for that?
begging the question. Sorry, that's begging the question.
That's why I'm about to give the argument.
Good. And remember,
so
your
here's the
claim is that. Just before we go, I wanna talk to you. You said that Allah is illogical because he's not a trinity, and this entails, by definition, that God must be a trinity across all possible worlds under the logical modality.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so your claim is that the trinity is logically necessary.
all I'm gonna prove is that Allah is falsifiable. So typically, I could give you the full-on argument why the Trinity is logically necessary in every possible world. But all I have to do to falsify.
So already Anas is trying to be a little sneaky. Again, if this is your first time seeing one of my reactions to this commentary, whether you're on YouTube or TikTok, I give breakdowns and commentaries on both sides on what both sides are trying to say and what both sides are doing. I'm gonna be a little biased because I'm Eastern Orthodox, gang, but I'm trying to be as least biased as possible for you to have a full objective observation of the debate in and of itself. So seems like Anas is already starting off to be a little sneaky, or to be charitable, setting up his own defenses. He's saying, wait a minute. So you're saying Allah has to be a Trinity, therefore, in all possible worlds, meaning in any scenario we can think of and imagine, the Trinity has to be there? It seems like intuitively he's setting that up, because if he can disprove that part, then it makes Agen's potential polemic weak. So he's kind of setting traps a little bit. Agen notices, and so he reasserts his actual polemic. I'm just trying to make Allah falsifiable. I could go the other way, but I'm just trying to make it falsifiable. Don't try to make me argue what you want me to argue. You get it? Okay.
That argument.
Hold on. Just to establish beginning, all I have to do is falsify Unitarian God, because that's what the debate is, right? Because that's my original claim.
Yeah, if you can falsify God being unipersonal, then I lost. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That was an interesting move. Don't know why he would have did that, but okay. If you can falsify Allah being unipersonal, then I lost. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. My popcorn's ready. Got to get back to getting that, because that's an interesting. That's a key thing, I think he's gonna say. All right. Okay, let's get it.
Good. Okay. Is God omniscient?
Yes.
Does he know all things?
Yes.
Is he a thing that exists?
And thing, you mean by that?
Something that exists, something that is.
What do you mean by think?
A thing which exists.
I can't hear him now.
Use that word thing,
I can't even hear him. What the fuck?
Hello.
Yo,
Does your
Cyril,
God exist?
come in my live right now and verify that, because the chat can't even hear him anymore.
Don't know what's going on, but it seems like Agen is about to run the knower argument. The knower, that which is known, and the act by which that is known. I don't really understand that. I do, but I don't. I think the whole point of that argument is, from a metaphysical standpoint, the entity that would be supreme would obligate him to be or have relational distinctions within himself due to this one thing like omniscience and knowing himself. I kind of ran it a bit when I debated Mr. Leon, the what's it called? Dialect of self-consciousness, right? I know that I am me because I am not you. So knowledge obligates some type of contrast between something and a unipersonal God. It seems like what Agen's about to run up can't account for that. Justice says, I thought you reviewed this one. I haven't. I don't think I reviewed this one already. I reviewed Agen versus Sig, but I don't think I reviewed this one yet.
Oh my gosh. What's wrong with this guy's Discord? Okay. Listen. Okay, Agen, sorry, not Agen.
Hello.
We can't hear. I know you guys can't hear. Yo,
Once
Agen,
the argument comes out, all of a sudden we can't hear.
Oh my God.
Yo,
Wallahi, I can't even hear him anymore.
I'm gonna pass forward.
no one knows because
No
when you
one
can't hear
knows?
me,
This
you read
isn't
my
something that
mind.
happened-
Or you're. No one is me. No one's me. No one is deafening you or
Gigantic interval of time. Abandon me. What is this
so
rhetoric?
you can hear me.
Go ahead. And that was
Okay.
by the way. Nice job.
Does your
That's okay.
God does your God know all things that exist?
All right.
Yes, he knows all true propositions.
Okay, does your God exist?
Hello?
Hello.
Oh my God, I'm deafened again.
No one's deafening
Oh
you.
my, yo, why can I not
What? What?
hear
Okay. All right,
Cyril,
bro.
come on my panel.
Dude,
I can't
in the chat, no one is deafening you or mute.
hear.
Here. Remember, we caught him. I asked him, "Can you hear me?" He said, "No, I can't hear you." He read
What's
my
going
mind.
on? Hey Cyril, can you verify that I can't hear him?
Yeah, at first you can't hear him live, but it's a glitch. Try restarting.
Okay, you
I'll
guys
tell you what he's doing.
now.
Walk in
I can hear
between.
you now. I can hear you go.
Okay,
Wait,
good,
are you,
good,
are
good.
you
How
fucking
convenient.
Wait, what do you
How
mean I'm doing it
convenient.
on purpose?
How
Wait,
convenient.
What do you mean I have? Hey, listen, I have evidence.
Now that you hear me,
live-
wait, now you hear me.
Listen,
Before you
listen,
cut out,
I
let's
have
continue.
Come
Hey,
on,
look.
bro. Let's just get to
hey,
it.
Egan, that's a good idea. Here, I'm gonna go live on my computer since you think I'm lying. I'm gonna join.
Just
Oh my gosh. Bro, where?
question.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm getting flashbacks to the white boy showdown we had the other day. In car.
Where
No,
the
this-
debate at, man?
Hey.
Like what?
I think we need request to speak. All right, we got Tesla.
Perfection. Every single
That God is aware.
All right.
I think we need Tesla up in here to get.
Tesla.
Bros, yeah.
Thank you so much, Tesla. You have.
next is gonna be they're double teaming me, triple.
Voice settings.
The fact we gotta do all this just to find the damn debate is crazy.
Oh, here, audio output. Yeah, I got it. Nice.
Okay, from the top. Okay. Does God know everything?
Yes, God knows all propositions.
Okay. Was there ever a point in time where he was devoid of knowledge, or does he know everything from eternity?
No, God knows everything from eternity. But before we continue, I define know in this conversation as simply being aware of. This does not mean that
Good.
God affirms false propositions, but it means that he
I know.
false propositions. But no, you don't. Let me finish. I just mean that God is aware of what false propositions are and their content, but he does not affirm false propositions.
That's fine. Okay. So God knows everything from all eternity. Does he know everything to its fullest detail, or are some details transcendent of his knowledge? So there's some things he can never know about a thing.
No, that's a metaphysical impossibility.
Okay, good. So we can establish God knows everything from all eternity to the fullest extent that it is. He knows all the details about it. Good. Does he know everything that exists?
And by that, is he aware of all?
So Egan, like the Eastern Orthodox, holds to God having complete knowledge. We make a distinction between God having propositional knowledge. We don't say God has propositional knowledge per se. He can affirm true propositions, but because God is truth and truth is known in and of himself, he is complete and infinite. His knowledge is complete and infinite. So therefore, the knowledge that he has of all things is complete, not like a discovery as one with propositional knowledge would have. So we don't say God knows propositions or has all propositions like that, like if he can think or stuff like that. All Egan is doing is just allowing Anas's worldview to be like symmetrical with ours, to set him up for the knowledge argument. Anas is affirming what his viewpoint is, while also, keeping his hands up a little bit about what he thinks will be presented to him, which is why he is doing qualifications and clarifications so that he's not misrepresented and he doesn't misrepresent his own position.
Propositions?
Everything, whether it be propositions, whether it be actual reference, everything. Yes.
Yes.
Everything that exists. Good.
Yes.
Does God exist?
Yes.
So from all eternity, does God know himself to the fullest perfection? Every single attribute he has a perfect awareness of.
Yes.
So in that awareness, does God have a content of knowledge, which is the perfect image of himself?
But what does that mean?
This awareness that he now has an image of himself in his mind that he's aware of. That is
What is an
identical in
image?
everything.
What is an image? Sorry, I don't know what that means. Image.
Basically, it's something in his intellect that he has a full, complete awareness of.
Are you asking me, is he completely aware of himself?
Yes.
Yes, God is completely aware of him.
He's not actually. He is asking that, but it's a little deeper. Agan's asking, from a metaphysical standpoint, when God knows himself, is there something that actualizes in that knowing? So is it actually something that is known when he knows himself? Is he aware of yes, Justice says, is he asking whether God is aware of the concept of himself? Yes. He's asking, does God have actual knowledge of the thing he thinks about, if he's thinking, for lack of a better term, when he thinks about himself, knowing himself? Because for us, that's the Son. The Son, the Logos, is the unaltered image of the Father. He is everything that the Father is, save being the Father. Anas is kind of trying to not necessarily affirm exactly, Justice. The Son is the self-revelation of the Father. Anas is not trying to affirm our paradigm per se, but he's also not trying to have his God be not omniscient. So he's moving carefully, which is interesting. It's interesting how Anas likes to move carefully. Everybody has their own idiosyncrasies and tales and stuff when they squabble. Anas is a question asker.
Himself.
And that would be a true content of his knowledge, right?
That you mean a true proposition, sir?
Yes, but a content of his knowledge as well. It's an actual content of his knowledge.
Yeah, it's a true proposition that God is fully aware of himself. Yes.
Okay. Is this self-awareness generated or ungenerated by an act of knowledge?
Self-awareness, is it generated or ungenerated?
Yes. Is it generated by his act of knowledge, or does he know it independently of his act of knowledge?
Wait, when you say self-awareness, are you picking out a property?
All of the attributes.
See, Agan already said a content. I don't think he's explaining content properly.
Of God that he's aware of, everything, the essence and the attributes, everything. That awareness he has in his mind.
The properties, listen, I'm going to answer you. And also, I don't even know what act of knowledge means. That's kind of gibberish to me. But when you say properties, I believe that all the essential properties are ungenerated and eternal. And I believe that the accidental properties are going to be accidental and uncreated and temporal. Is that clear?
That's fine.
Wait, go back.
Properties are ungenerated and eternal. And I believe
the essential properties are ungenerated and eternal. So by essential properties, I'm sure Anas is just meaning like omniscience, omnipresence, this and that sort.
That the accidental properties are going to be accidental and uncreated.
He believes God has accidents? Does Anas believe God has accidents? Okay. What the hell? All right. Again, we're gonna just be charitable and unbiased as possible. This is insane. So apparently Anas believes that God has accidental properties. So accidents are things that can be changed or removed, guys. Yeah, I guess that's neoclassical theism. I guess. We hold to God being unchanging. God is immutable. God has accidents. He can't be immutable. This is insane. So I guess he's saying that the accidental properties are generated. Let me try one more time.
Eternal. And I believe that the accidental properties are going to be accidental and uncreated and temporal. Is that clear?
That's fine. So,
and temporal. Uncreated and temporal. Okay.
Now when he exercises his knowledge towards himself as his own object. He now has an awareness of himself, and this awareness of himself is a true content of his knowledge, meaning the divine essence, God knows it fully, so the divine essence exists in his mind with all of its attributes. Is that content of his knowledge generated by an act of knowledge, or is it independent of his act of knowledge?
No, it's not, dude. Knowledge isn't generated, right? Because he knows something. What he knows is not going to be generated.
Okay, is it the act of knowledge, him knowing that thing, is that thing's foundation in the knowledge itself?
Maurice asks, having accidental properties will make God a lot temporal, right? To an extent, yeah. In the accidents, he would be a temporal. Or they just say the accidents aren't really God.
In his knowing introspectively?
Sorry, what is an act of knowledge? What the hell is that?
Basically, when you put your mind towards an object.
What? Telekinesis?
When you-
What is this?
No, not telekinesis.
What-
Whenever you
what-
exercise
what
your
is poetry?
intellect towards a specific object to have an awareness of.
Do you mean to think about?
Yes, yes.
I was about to say, that's essentially what Egan is asking or saying. Thinking about something. Contemplating something. We don't mind saying God contemplates. But what we mean by contemplate is not the typical uses of contemplate. When we say contemplate, we simply mean like hold within, ground together. Like, for instance, from an Eastern Orthodox standpoint, God contemplates the logoi, right? Contemplates the logoi. The logoi are the divine blueprints, the uncreated divine blueprints that subsist within the logos. The subsisting within the logos is the contemplation. You see what I'm saying? The holding together is the contemplation. Not that God is thinking about, I wonder if I can, I wonder how I can, like how we contemplate on God, right? We contemplate on God by meditating on him, continuously visualizing how he is, that he is, and our nous and knowledge ascends toward him. It's not the same thing with God. That's not what we mean. So I think it would be smart for Egan to kind of make that understanding known so that there's no, talking past each other. Correct. Zay said the gnomic intellect. Yes.
Yes.
Why don't you just say this?
When he thinks about himself, is this thought generated by his active thinking?
When he knows himself, hey, listen, let me tell you something, okay? When God knows something, that's not an action, right? We don't say that God knows that I exist, therefore God exercises intellect to know me. That's gibberish and retarded, okay?
So does he know?
Well,
go ahead.
Listen. We're going to say that God, we don't believe God thinks. That's the first thing, right? We would say that God knows, right? So Allah, he knows that I exist. This is not like a generated thought.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is why I said, I promise I'm not a prophet. I promise I'm not a prophet. What did I just say? Didn't I just say they're going to talk past each other? That Egan needs to articulate further what we mean by contemplate rather than to just think, because they're going to talk past each other. And lo and behold, look what Anas just did. We don't think God thinks. He just knows. They're talking past each other. Egan thinks that too. Egan doesn't think God thinks either. But Egan is just simply trying to run the argument. He's kind of rushing a bit. So he's just kind of granting semantical differences for the sake of the argument. And this is how it happens. We're talking past one another.
Right? We would say that our thoughts are generated. We don't believe God has thoughts regardless.
That's fine. Okay. So this knowledge that he has of himself, let's forget the semantics, whether it's exercising or not. Is he actualizing in his knowledge a content which is the divine essence with all of its attributes?
That is retardation again, because we don't believe
the question.
We don't believe. Hey, listen, bro, dude. Dude, that doesn't make any sense. You're asking
Answer
me
the question.
Listen, let me break down what you just said and tell me if it's correct. Okay, you're saying the God's essence, the one that he's aware of, his own essence that he's aware of, right? Is that itself actualized?
Yes, by that action
no,
itself of knowing. Even if
no.
forgetting the semantics, if you don't want
Knowledge
to
is
call it an
not-
action.
No, dude, we don't believe God's knowledge is something that which he actualizes.
Okay, does he realize it?
What does that mean?
Does it become a real aspect of reality by virtue of God's introspection?
Okay, so you're asking me for okay, look, I'll tell you. So if you mean by realization as in like it's a temporal affirmation,
I'm
no,
not asking. I'm not.
because
It's not temporal.
no, because
No,
that's what it sounds
eternally.
like. No. Listen, to come to stop with your gibberish. I'm literally like
This isn't
disambiguating what
gibberish. You're
saying.
not.
I think it's absolutely hilarious that Anas, who is a sophist, is getting out sophist. And Agan's not even being a sophist. Anas is just being evasive. Anas is just being evasive right now. And I think he's being evasive not on purpose. I just think he doesn't actually know. And so he's doing his best to show face. And it's manifesting in this way. Evade, peel the stone. Oh, this is our word. You know, insult. And then try to say what you want him to say versus what he's actually saying. These are actually great tactics as far as debating goes. A little sly, a little sneakish. But it's technically the proper, right, method to go about when you're kind of low in the debate or losing in the debate.
Tracking.
No, listen, I am tracking. No, the problem is it's difficult to track when you gibberate, right? So I'm trying my best to make sense of what the heck you're saying, okay? So no, God does not just come to realization of the knowledge of his essence because he's eternal, therefore he's known himself for eternity. Now,
Good.
please, Agan,
Exactly,
do us
that's
a
my
favor. Wait, do me a favor, Agan, and please give a formal argument so we can tackle this one by one, please. Thank you.
You're not even tracking. So here we go. This is, by the way, we are going one by one, by the way.
Can I get a
Now
formal
that we're
argument?
here, now that we're here,
Are we gonna get a formal argument? You're running.
Stop ducking. You're running.
So no formal argument?
We're going point by point. We're going point by point. I want to see if you
Can we do
deny
a
these
syllogism, please?
premises. I want to
Formal
see if
argument.
you deny these premises. Don't duck. Don't duck. Don't duck. When God knows himself, when he introspects himself from all eternity, I'm not saying it's temporal. I don't even want to use the semantics of an action. When he is realizing, it becomes a true part of reality that God is introspecting himself. This content of his knowledge in his mind, is it prior or posterior to his knowledge?
Sorry, is that a question or a premise?
It's a question. Answer.
So it's not a premise.
Answer.
Okay.
The
What
way
do
that you
mean-
answer will turn
Wait,
it
wait,
into
hey,
a
listen,
premise,
listen,
which I
listen,
can.
hey, listen.
Hold
hey,
on, you listen. You listen.
Hey, no,
you
I'm
listen.
talking. Hey, no, listen. Let me
I'm
answer
talking.
you, okay?
I'm not
Let me
done.
answer you. You asked the
I'm not
question.
done.
You asked the question. Is it part of
and then
reality?
you asked to
I'm
clarify.
gonna answer
And then
your
you asked to
question.
clarify. You asked to clarify. I didn't
listen,
finish.
Listen.
All right, bro. What is this? They're both like 20, by the way, of kids.
You asked a clarifier about whether it's a question or a premise. The way that you answer, if it is the way I want it in my argument, I will make it a premise of my argument. If it's incorrect, then we keep breaking it down. That's the best way to move forward. So now that's in the picture. Can you answer? Is this knowledge that God has of himself, this awareness, which is the divine essence with all of its attributes, is it prior or posterior to his knowing?
And by prior, you mean?
It's independent of him knowing.
What do you mean independence of him knowing? What does
It's
that
not.
even?
It's not founded. Him having the knowledge of himself is not founded
eternal?
in that knowing.
You mean it's eternal?
No, not that it's eternal. That it's prior, logically prior to him knowing. That he
That's
knows something
gibberish.
without
Wait,
knowing it.
So does God know something before he knows something? Do you hear yourself?
Exactly. That's the question. Say no.
No,
Say no.
that's
Exactly.
gibberish. That doesn't, dude. That's gibberish. Oh my gosh, stop
If
gibbering.
it's gibberish, if it
It says, say no, say no. This is all leading the witness low key. But it's a cool tactic. That's an interesting tactic. Agan is saying something that Anas would consider absurd for the point of Anas disagreeing to get to the whole point. It's like a bait and switch, but it's not fully a bait and switch. It's like, again, like a leading. Like, I'm a jab. If it's boxing, I'm a jab to the right to get you off center so I can do it straight down to the middle. You know what I mean? And punch you in the nose.
it's gibberish, you answer. I want you to say no.
Wait,
I
if
want
it's
you to say
gibberish,
no.
you answer? Are you a moron? Let me tell you something.
If you
bro.
if you recognize it as gibberish because it has a plain answer, then you answer.
Let me finish. when you gibberate, you actually should not be expecting an answer. You were asking me, does God know something before he knows something? Are you slow? No, we don't say
Does
that
God?
God's knowledge.
Does God?
Let me
Does
finish.
God's
I'm not,
knowledge?
it's not fair. It's not fair. He's not letting me respond. He's
Hold
not
on,
letting
let
me
me
respond.
clarify.
No,
You asked me.
no,
Let
no,
me
no.
clarify.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Stop
Go ahead.
talking while I'm talking. I let you talk. Let me talk.
Yeah, Zay said 5'6", 140-pound Nas. You can't be talking to people like this. Listen, bro. They know they're online. Let them boys live online, bro.
Talk, okay?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
The
ahead.
question includes an answer that is gibberish. Does God know something before he knows something? That doesn't
That wasn't
make
the
any
question.
sense. That's,
That wasn't
yes,
the question.
you
Does
literally-
God have a knowledge?
Listen,
Listen,
wait,
listen,
stop
listen. How I for.
Dude, are you
Listen
gonna
how
let-
I phrased it.
Oh my God,
Listen,
this is so
listen how I
embarrassing,
phrased
bro.
it.
Can you hold yourself?
You,
Can you hold
you
your tongue?
asked me. You
Can you
just
hold your
asked
tongue?
me.
Agan, can you hold your tongue or not while I'm talking? Dude?
Hold up,
You're
Apex.
longer
Apex.
than
I
you
promise
did.
this is to move
You're
the
making
convo.
it.
I promise.
don't-
I promise this is to
Agan,
move
I don't
the
care.
convo fruitfully.
You've already
Listen,
lied. You've already lied at least 5 times.
Apex.
Hey, I'm talking.
Apex.
Let me finish.
Apex.
Let me
Apex.
finish.
Just
You look
Apex
very
because
bad
you
on your
asked
ass.
me a question whether or
Agan,
not that's what I said.
Again, I didn't
Apex.
ask you if that's what you said. Let me finish. You already
You
answered.
said. You said.
You already answered.
Okay, go ahead.
You already
Fine. Go ahead.
answered.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, so insufferable, dude.
Go ahead.
Look, firstly,
It is insufferable. But I think it's interesting, though. Anas is literally the same way. I just find that so funny. When it's done to them, it's different. Like, Anas is literally insufferable as well. He's been on my live. He's acted insufferable. Being dumb, saying stupid stuff, calling people potatoes, when he looks quite literally like a worm with a mustache. Like, literally. But we tolerate him. Like, it is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't cry. Just fight.
I need to disambiguate what knowledge is defined as. I'm defining knowledge as being aware of. We already agreed to this. Therefore, we should uphold it this way. Okay? Secondly, you asked me, does God knowing himself, is it posterior or logically prior to him knowing it? Okay? It's gibberish to say God knows something logically prior, which means
Good. So the
God
answer is
knows
no.
something- God knows something before he knows something, which you confirmed is what you're asking, and you actually agreed. So that's
Here's how I
gibberish.
specifically worded it. Here's how I specifically worded it. Does God have a knowledge of a thing prior to him knowing it? I agree. You can't say yes, that would be gibberish. You have to say no,
Your
correct?
question's gibberish, not the answer.
It's not gibberish. It's not gibberish. It's a yes
it
or
is.
no. It's a true
Agan,
dichotomy.
Agan, tell me what it means to know something before you know something.
That's the point. It's an impossibility, so you answer no. That's the point. That's why
What?
I asked that.
Wait, no, oh my gosh, you're cooked. Hey, Agan, when somebody asks you a question that is straight gibberish, that is incohesive,
It's not gibberish. It either makes you affirm a logical contradiction or you affirm the answer.
Agan, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to bring Danny to moderate because I cannot stand you constantly
Go ahead,
interrupting
go
my
ahead.
response.
Go ahead.
She said, I want you to bring Danny to moderate. I mean, I'm talking about they doing tricks on it for Danny, Brody. My baby mother got the Muslims on a leash. It's insane. Like, Cheryl was just up there. This is an Orthodox Christian Christian Discord. Like, there are other Muslims up there. Like, man say, yo, bring Danny.
Go
This
ahead.
is the very
Go
reason
ahead.
why I don't
Go
want to
ahead.
debate you
Continue.
Discord. Danny, okay, thank you. So when you ask a question that is gibberish, okay, you are literally saying blah 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 blah. I'm not going to answer no. Why? Because the question doesn't even offer an answer. It doesn't even offer a dichotomy. You're just abusing language by inserting that as a dichotomy. There's nothing that inserts a dichotomy here. Your question is, does God know something before he knows something? The question's gibberish. That can't even be answered. Can you ask a cohesive or a
It can be
coherent
answered.
question?
It can, so the answer isn't no. You just busted yourself. So the answer isn't no.
Dude, Agan.
Is
you
the
cannot
answer a
answer-
clear no or not? Is the answer a
Dude,
clear no or not? You're busted.
dude,
Is the answer a
dude.
clear no or not? Answer.
Your
Is the
question-
answer a clear no or not?
Oh my god.
Okay, so this is really weird. This is the part about, I don't know, maybe is it like a Eastern thing? Like, is it like a North African like type you know, desert type of ordeal where like little lowercase w's are get perpetuated as big w's? I don't really know like This is strange. I don't even know. This doesn't even have anything to do with the argument for real. Like, Egan's trying to get him to get busted on this and that and the third. It's like, okay, cool, but like, is that really the point or no? Like, and Egan, I mean not Egan. Apex is just. Sorry, Anas. I don't know why y'all call him Apex. Anas is literally just throwing away the argument. I don't think it's gibberish. I think it can be said. Like, for instance, you can say, can God exist and not exist at the same time? Does God exist before he exists? It's like, what? Doesn't make any sense. God does exist. God does exist. If you just ask me, does God exist? He exists. He always exists. That's an affirmation. But not, you don't say, that's unanswerable. Which is Egan's point. You can't say that's unanswerable, because then that means the possibility of the affirmation is true. God can exist. Well, he exists. You just can't answer it. Like, that's just, I don't know, that's silly.
Your question's neither a no or a yes. Okay? Why? Because the question's gibberish. It's not coherent. Are you slow?
You just affirmed. It is not the case that God can have a knowledge before him knowing it. You just said you can't even answer no to that question.
Egan, your question is gibberish. You asked me, can God know something before knowing something? That's a contradiction.
That's not how I worded it. That's exactly. So you can't say yes. So you can't say yes.
That is how you worded it.
No, I said this. Can God have a knowledge prior to an act of knowing? If the answer is no, then it has to be posterior to knowing, correct?
Posterior and meaning what? After?
Good. So the answer is no. No, God has a knowledge.
No. I didn't even respond to you. When you say posterior, what do you mean?
That it's logically posterior.
So
it comes as a logical consequence. Yes, as a logical consequence.
So God knows something after he knows something.
No, God knows something and he has a knowledge afterwards. Logically, not temporally.
Knows something and he has knowledge afterwards?
Yes, he has a knowledge of that thing in which he is knowing.
But we wouldn't say that there's a temporal distinction, dude.
But he just said logically, not temporally. Because I think Anas is trying to safeguard Egan possibly saying your God is gaining knowledge. But I don't think that's what Egan's angle is. I think he's just saying, like, again, it logically, so it makes sense that in the mind that if this knowledge is being known, if it's a being known and then known as like an order in the mind, not like in time, but in the mind. So for instance, for us, for Trinitarians, the Father is logically prior to the Son, not temporally prior, because they're all three are eternal. But because the Son comes forth from the Father would be before the Son logically. So in the mind, as far as order goes, how it would make sense based upon the facts of how they exist. Father, Son, Father begets Son. Father has to be source of Son. So logically, for it to, in the mind and order, the Father will be before. Again, not temporally, because that's the part that, people get mixed up on.
Exactly. Hence, it's logical priority.
No. Oh my gosh.
Do you know what logical priority is?
That's a false dichotomy. I don't believe that it's logically. Yes, it's a false dichotomy. I don't believe that there is a temporal distinction between God coming to
I didn't say
something
temporal.
and
I said logical.
of it. Listen.
Do you know what? Do you know what logical?
Hey, he didn't say temporal.
Hey, Egan, are you gonna let me finish?
Go ahead.
Are you gonna let me finish? Thank you. Your answers are false. It's a false dichotomy. Why? Because we don't believe that there's a temporal distinction between God coming to knowledge of something and then knowing it. All right. So please.
You just said it's not temporal.
Dude, what are you talking about? We believe that God affirms temporal propositions. That's the whole point.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So,
Cool.
Being said,
So can God have a knowledge of a thing prior to him knowing it? The answer is no, correct. So he has to have it logically posterior. He knows a thing after he exercises agency to know that specific thing. That
Wait,
content of his knowledge is after that knowing.
So wait, let me clear this up. So you're saying T1, God is exercising
No,
his
I
intellect.
didn't answer. No, not T1. I'm talking about logical priority. I'm not talking about temporality.
Dude, listen, bro. Logical, dude. You just said posterior. You just said, look, we agree that God does not know something before he knows something. That doesn't make any sense.
God doesn't have a knowledge before he exercises knowing that specific thing.
What is
He can't have a knowledge.
How are you defining
Does
a
God-
knowledge?
Okay, a knowledge of X, having an awareness of X.
Having awareness of X comes before knowing
Yes.
it?
Yes, that the answer is no, right? The answer would be no.
Dude, we believe that God, once he's aware, dude, we don't believe that there comes a time that God is aware of something, right? We would
I
say
know,
that,
I'm not
for
talking
example-
about a time. I'm not talking about a time.
For some reason, Anas is still stuck on temporality. I think the reason why he's stuck on temporality is because he said that it seems like, unless I don't want to misrepresent him, but it sounded like he said that he believes that Allah can affirm these propositional things temporally, though. His accidental attributes are temporal. So I think he's getting lost in the sauce on that. I don't know.
Time. I'm talking about logical prior and posterior. Logically prior, he exercises knowing a specific object.
It's neither.
Logically posterior, he has
It's neither. That's not cool.
knowledge of that object. Do you see how that follows through?
Yeah, but that's not what posterior is. I'm gonna say it's a false dichotomy.
How? Okay, so it's
you want the intermediate?
hold on.
Let me give you the intermediate.
To make this clear, he does not have a knowledge of an object logically posterior to him exercising knowledge towards it.
Posterior, ladies and gentlemen, just means after.
No, because we're gonna say that it's actually logically simultaneous. Therefore, it's negating both options that which of you asserted as options. So therefore,
Okay.
your question is a false dichotomy. We don't believe that God.
Good.
Yeah, we know Jahan. Jahan said he's proving a multi-personal God is logically necessary. Some would say it's heretical since God revealed the Trinity through revelation. Yeah, that is what Agan is doing. Agan is trying to do that, but he's trying to do it from a framework of Islam to show that in Islam they obligate it, but they don't have an actual account for it. That's what it seems like.
Agan, I'm still waiting for the syllogism, but we're not going to do it anyway. Because we don't wanna do it.
Continue.
So, thank you, I appreciate it. So we're going to say that it's
Okay.
neither logically posterior nor logically prior. We're going to say that it's logically simultaneous. Because what you're saying, it
Okay.
entails a delay between the knowledge and
Okay.
the exercise of the intellect.
Okay, is the exercise of the intellect simultaneous to the content which is produced from the exercise of the intellect?
It's not a heresy to say that the Trinity is logically necessary. It is impious to say that you can reason to the fullness and understanding of the Trinity without divine revelation. Not that it's heresy to say that it's logically necessary, though.
Do you mean, is there a
Because that would be true. The Trinity is logically necessary.
difference between, or is it simultaneous between God exercising his intellect and God knowing that thing?
Having a content of knowledge versus the
Meaning
exercise of
knowing it,
intellect.
right? Knowing it?
Yes.
Do me a favor and
Knowing
define.
versus the known. Is the
Just
known
tell us-
thing
tell us-
thing prior or posterior to the knowing?
I already answered. I told you it's neither. I told you that it's logically simultaneous.
Good.
Okay, so Agan,
So,
what does it mean to exercise your knowledge?
Hold on.
I'm asking a clarifier. What does it mean what does it mean when you say to exercise the intellect?
Meaning you have some capacity of intellect and you want
Yeah, that's why I said the Father said it would be impious. But you can't name that heresy that it's called, though. It's impious to do so. It'd be improper to do so. Not that it's a form of heresy to do so.
its telos to be a specific object.
Wait, can you repeat that?
You have an exercise of intellect, right? You have a capacity of intellect. You want to relate it to some object, to some telos. That's going to be the end of your act of knowing. You want to know that specific thing.
I don't believe
For
God
example,
has an and by the way, that's kind of tautological. I don't believe that God has an innumerable capacity of knowledge. I think that's gibberish. I don't believe God's knowledge is innumerable.
Huh? Well, first off, Anas has to stop calling everything gibberish. That's first and foremost. He has to stop calling everything gibberish. But what does he mean he doesn't believe that God's capacity of knowledge is innumerable? So you can number the things that God knows? So, no, he said he doesn't. I know what innumerable means. He said he doesn't believe God's knowledge is innumerable. Meaning God, he can number the things that God knows. So how is your God omniscient?
Understand?
I didn't say that
Yeah, the YouTube has it. Recorded right now.
it's innumerable. Does he have
No.
knowledge as an
But you
attribute?
said I think that God's knowledge, the capacity of it is innumerable.
Do you know
due
what
to
I
the
mean by
very fact-
capacity?
Egan,
Do you know what I
Egan,
mean
let
by
me finish.
capacity?
Let me finish. I'm going off the wait, chat. You guys can't hear Egan well?
Do you know what I mean by capacity?
Oh, he's saying innumerable. Oh. Okay. It sounded like he said innumerable. Like innumerable. My bad.
You guys hear him? Hold on one sec.
Apex.
Just
Apex.
1 sec. I'm making sure they can hear you, dude. Okay, yes, they
Okay.
can. Go ahead.
Okay, Apex. Do you know what I mean by capacity? By capacity, all I mean is that God has the possibility, and it's always going to be necessarily actualized. I agree with you. He has the possibility to know certain things. Do you affirm God has the possibility to know certain things, or is it an impossibility?
No, yes, of course, he has possibility.
Okay, that's all I mean by capacity. So God exercises that act. Is the content of knowledge, the effects now, right? Is the contents of those knowledge going
Dude.
to be as an effect of the exercise of his intellect?
I don't know, dude. It's all gibberish when you say to exercise the intellect. I don't believe that's an act. I don't even know what that is.
It means you move your intellect towards the telos of a specific object. You desire to know a specific thing. Is the desire to know a thing different than the thing being known?
Dude, we don't believe that God, he directs his knowledge to the telos or this thing, and then he's thinking of it. No.
So God doesn't know things. So God
that
doesn't
even
want to
follow.
know
That
things.
So Agen's argument is that is the means in which something knows something, and if God doesn't do that, then he doesn't know anything. Apex is like, I don't know what you're even saying. Sounds gibberish. I'm doing my best to try to figure out what you're trying to say, and based off what I think you're trying to say, nah.
A straw man. That doesn't follow. Listen, that doesn't
Okay.
follow. Okay.
Does
We're
God
gonna
want
say
to
that
know
God-
things?
We're gonna say that God is aware of all things at all times simultaneously. Okay,
That's
this means he
fine.
does not.
Is he
His
fine?
knowledge is not directed this way sometime and then this way sometime. Therefore,
Nobody's saying that you think that God has discursive knowledge. Agen's not saying, do you think God has discursive knowledge? It's irrelevant. Like, what is he talking about? Who cares? Nobody's saying that. He's not. I don't think Anas is tracking. I don't think Anas is tracking for real.
and
That's not
validating
what I'm arguing.
validating the concept of even God.
That's not what I'm
exercising
arguing.
intellect.
That's not what I'm arguing. I'm not saying he decides to know this and decides to know that. I'm granting this is eternal. It's necessary. In all possible worlds, God is going to know things. Does he move his knowledge towards specific things that are different from each other? Or does he know things all the same way involuntarily?
Okay. Are you asking me, does God know that there's a distinction between all the particulars that which exist?
Is he okay with knowing a difference between different objects? Does he exercise his knowledge towards different objects?
Okay, and I'm just going to clarify. And by that, do you mean that God knows that every single instantiation of a universal, which is what particular, there are distinctions between them and they are discernible. Therefore, God knows that they're different and they're not one and the same.
And
Somebody said, what does he mean to move his knowledge? I think what he means by moving his knowledge, from what I'm assuming he means by moving his knowledge is like the actualization of knowledge happens really. Right? The actualization of God's knowledge happens really, not temporally, but really still, actually. I'm pretty sure that's what it. And that knowledge is of something, right? A telos, a something for sure, a specific thing. And that is it. And it is it. And he's trying to ask Anas, is it to a particular thing or something specific the same way to all specific things, or is it differently in different things? Or differently for different things.
Not just that, he knows them as they are different. They are different objects of his knowledge.
Yes, God knows that there's a difference between my water bottle and my cup.
Is the content which is produced from that action of knowing different objects? Is that
That's
content
not an action. That's not an
It's not an action? Okay, so what's his name? I don't know. I forgot his name. Groot? What is his name again? Hold on. Moot. Moot. So you're saying it's by will. Well, if it's by will, then that's an action. Anas is saying it's not an action. I don't know if it's a blunder or not from y'all's paradigm. Not gonna hold you. Because Moot is a Muslim and has the same, I think you have the same metaphysics as Anas. So But then you're incorrect then, Moot, because if you said it's by will, you say if it's not through knowledge itself, it's by will, then by will is an action. The movement of knowledge is an action. Knowledge isn't an action, but actualization of will is an action. But that's not what was asked before. Agan asks, does God move his knowledge toward a thing? That is the actualization of said knowledge. You said yes, but that's by will. Therefore, the knowledge is an action, or the movement of said knowledge to actualize it is an action. But Anas just said that's not an action. The actualization of said knowledge, the content, right? That's not an action. That's not making any sense. Agan said the movement in the content. Here, I'll rewind it. Look.
the difference between my water bottle and my cup.
Is the content which is produced from that action of knowing different objects?
Is the content which is produced from that action of knowing different objects. That action that he's talking about is the movement of the knowledge toward the thing. Which Anas said, or you said, is by will. And I said that happens.
Is that's content
not an action? That's not an action.
Okay, is moving your intellect towards a telos different from moving it towards telos that's distinct and discernible from that first telos? Are those discernible?
God does not do that. How many
God
times
doesn't know different things?
Dude, when you say move, you look at it's such ambiguous and vague language that I have to unpack it.
Then ask me to clarify. Okay? Ask me to clarify.
Dude, but the problem is every time I ask you to clarify, you fail and you just become tautological again. So, Agan, please clarify what the heck it means to move your intellect.
Can you agree there is knowing and there are things which are known?
Yes. For example,
is knowing active? Is God's knowing active?
What does that even mean?
Is God's knowing active or is it potent?
Is it? Oh, so are you acting? Yes, of course it's active. What are you
okay, God's knowing. Okay, now that we agreed that it's active, is the effect and content produced by that active knowing, the things which are known, is that which is known distinct from what is knowing?
Yeah, I believe that which is known is not necessarily that which is knowing.
Good. So knowing is distinct from known. Now that God has his divine essence as that which...
As they said, why does he sound so angry? Because he's uncomfortable. That's what happens. If you're uncomfortable, emotions arise. It happens to all of us, but that is the reason.
Is known, and it comes posterior to the knowing, then the divine essence is being contained by another which is logically prior, the knowing. Hence it would be generated in ab alio as it has its foundation in another, and thus the divine essence exists in two distinct modes of existence. You just conceded the Trinity. Thank you very much.
Okay, watch this.
Refute
watch this.
One more time.
Alio as it has its foundation.
Let's break that down.
Is that which is known.
Hold up.
God's knowing. Okay, now that we agreed that it's active, is the...
Okay, so Agan has established that God, for Allah, God's knowing is active. Okay, so it's an active thing. It's not a thing that's in potential. It's always a thing.
Effect and content produced by that active knowing, the things which are known.
the effect and content produced by the act of knowing. Right? So the thing that is known.
Is that which is known distinct from what is knowing?
If is that which is known, so that content produced by the knower, distinct from the knower.
Yeah, I believe that that which is known as.
Anna said yes. The content produced by the knower is distinct from the knower. So that thing which is known is distinct from the knower.
Is not necessarily that which is knowing.
Good, good. So knowing is distinct from known. Now that God has his divine essence as that which is known, and it comes posterior to the knowing, then the divine essence is being contained by another which is logically prior, the knowing. Hence it would be generated in ab alio as it has its foundation
Okay, so
in another, and thus the divine essence exists in two distinct modes of existence.
okay. That was a lot. Let me try to break that down simpler. Hold on.
That which is known distinct from what is knowing?
Yeah, I believe that that which is known is not necessarily that which is knowing.
Good, good. So knowing is distinct from known. Now that God has his divine essence as that which is known, and
God has his divine essence as that which is known,
and it comes posterior to the knowing, then the divine essence is being contained by another which is logically prior, the knowing. Hence it would be generated
that which is known, the knowing.
in ab alio as it has its foundation in another, and thus the divine essence exists in two distinct modes of existence. You just conceded the Trinity.
Talk so fast.
And content produced by that active knowing, the things which are known. Is that which is known distinct from what is knowing?
Yeah, I believe that that which is known is not necessarily that which is knowing.
Good, good. So knowing is distinct from known. Now that God has his divine essence as that which is known.
God has his divine essence as that which is known. Don't know what he means by that. Because I was thinking he was saying that which is known, and that the knower is the persons. So now I'm confused with what he's meaning by that as far as the essence.
And it comes posterior to the knowing.
And it comes posterior to the knowing. So the divine essence comes posterior to the knowing, which would be what? The communication or the generation?
And the divine essence is being contained by another which is logically prior, the knowing. Hence it
Okay, so the knowing is the person. That which is known would be the essence.
would be generated in ab alio as it has its foundation in another, and thus the divine essence exists in two distinct modes of existence. You just conceded the
Okay, from what I thought, this is what I think he's trying to say. This is what I think he's trying to say. The knower, the act of knowing, and that which is known are all contained in the same thing of knowledge, essence wise. However, the mode in which this thing called knowledge is derived and generated by the knower, the act of knowing, and the known, and that which is known. So this thing that we are understanding as knowledge, essence, is contained in these different modes of subsistence or existence: the knower, that which is known, and the act of knowing. It seems like that's the simpler time, the compressed version of what he's trying to say. And so therefore, if that's the case, you've then conceded the necessity of the Trinity, because that's the only way God can have actual omniscience, at least of himself. Hey.
Trinity. Thank you very much.
Okay, watch this. Watch this.
Refute.
Give the syllogism.
Refute
Watch this.
that.
Watch this. Give the syllogism.
Refute
Give the
that.
syllogism.
Refute that.
Give the syllogism. No.
Do you have a
Give the-
refutation?
No. Give the syllogism right now.
Do you have a refutation?
Give the syllogism.
Premise 1. Watch. Premise 1. God knows
Can I
things from
type it down?
eternity.
Wait. Can I
You
type it down?
can. You're
Okay,
caught.
okay,
You
so
didn't
give
even
me- give
provide
me
a
a
defeat.
second. Hey, but hold your fucking
Once
tongue,
the
bro.
argument came out, you want it formalized, so now you can argue about whether or not it has a
Moot said the assertion is that there is an ontological priority between knowing and the knower. I mean, I'm pretty sure I don't know if the Orientals have the same metaphysics as the Eastern Orthodox, but if they do, then it wouldn't matter if there's an ontological priority or not, because we would start with the person of the Father versus the essence, regardless. So I don't think it wouldn't matter. The same argument would apply. And I think, and if Agin does have the same metaphysics as the EOs, then that's probably his mindset.
valid inference rule, and you're going to try and apply a valid syntax, etc., etc. You don't have a defeater. Don't waste my time, but I'll do it either way. Type around all you want. I'll do it right now. If your fingers can keep up. If your fingers can keep up. Premise 1. God knows things from... I'm giving you. Premise 1. God knows things from all eternity, perfectly knowing them. He knows them exercising that active knowing. He knows them as distinct telos of objects. After that, because he knows it from all eternity, and he knows all things which exist, he himself is a thing which exists. Hold on. You can type them up and regiment them. You can type it up. You can type it up. You can type it up. You can type it up and regiment it into different propositions. That's not my issue. You're the one who wants it. You're the one who wants it in a formal language. You're welcome to do that with your own fingers. I'm giving you the premises. I'm giving you the premises. I'm giving you the premises. If you wanna, okay, you can regiment them as you want. You can regiment them as you want. You should have the capacity to know. You should have the capacity to know when I'm giving a different proposition. But I'll do it again. I'll start from the top. I'll start from the top and slow it down for you. We begin with the premise: God knows things from all eternity, and from all eternity, He has a full and complete knowledge of all things.
Two propositions.
Then regiment it. If you know it's two premise, if you know it's two premise.
Two propositions.
Watch this.
Do you understand
Apex, did I begin with saying premise 1? I'm letting you regiment it for yourself. If you know how to distinguish between premise 1 and premise 2, do it.
Formal syllogism. Give me a formal syllogism.
Fine. I'll be nice. I'll regiment it. Hold on. Fine. Because you're too slow. Because you're too slow to track. I'll regiment it for you. Premise 1. Premise 1. God knows all things. Premise 2, He knows all things perfectly. Premise 3, those things which He knows perfectly, He knows them from all eternity, even with their fullest details. Premise 4, God knows all things which exist. Premise 5, God exists. Premise 6, the active knowing is distinguished from the content of knowledge which is known.
Sorry, what's the inference rule here?
I'm not done to give the inference rule. I didn't give a conclusion yet. Hold on. Stop panicking. Stop panicking. Do you deny any premise so far?
I think that some...
Do you deny any premise so far?
I think some premises you're adding are tautological, meaning they're the same thing, they're redundant.
Okay, wait. If they're tautological, then you already know that it follows. Why do you care about the inference rule? Do you know what a tautology is?
Are you okay? Are you okay?
What's a tautology? What's a tautology? What's a tautology? Define it.
I'm telling you.
Go ahead.
When I'm saying tautology, it's essentially it being trivial. You are literally saying the same thing twice. So
that's not what a tautology is. Hold on. Yeah, that part was. What's a tautology? Say it again. Say it again.
Do me and start from premise 1 and read it again.
This is going to be the 5th time I'm repeating it. This is going to be the 5th. This is going to be the 5th time I'm repeating it.
You already know the inference rule.
You define. Watch this. You defined a tautology. Hold on. Stop panicking.
What's premise 1?
Hold on. You made a big blunder.
Bro, and the fact that he's calling people insufferable is crazy. This is what I'm saying. This is the insufferability. Like, why are you literally repeating the same thing 10 times in a row? What's premise 1? What's premise 1? What's premise 1? What's premise 1? Like, are you okay? Why? Relax. Everybody just chill out. What's up with y'all?
You made a big blunder. You made a big
What's
blunder.
premise one?
Stop
What's premise
panicking.
one?
Relax. Take
What's
a deep
premise
breath.
one? You're
I'll do
getting
it with
deep
you.
dive. What's premise one?
I'll do it with you.
What's
Take a
premise
deep
one?
breath. Take a deep breath.
I'm
Take
waiting
a
for
deep
premise
breath.
one.
Take a deep breath.
You have premise one, sir. You're
Take a
panicking.
deep breath. Take a deep.
You have
You're the one
premise one.
panicking. I'm about to say something. You're not letting me say it.
No,
I'm gonna show you how you blundered. I'm gonna show you how you blundered. You
premise
conceded
one?
that I made it. Hold on. It was from your mouth that you said I made a tautology,
Premise
and then
one.
you defined a tautology. Stop. And then you defined a
He doesn't
tautology
have premise
as me
one.
And then you defined a tautology as me restating the same thing twice. So if you already agreed with the prior premises, and I'm stating the same thing twice, why are you asking for an inference rule if you already agree with it and you think it follows through?
Sir.
Answer the
I
question.
believe that your I'm answering you, dumbass. Your syllogism, it is not going to be sound because firstly, there's no available inference rule. Therefore, it's unsound already.
Well, I didn't finish my
Secondly,
premise. I didn't finish my premises.
Let me finish.
I didn't finish
Let
my
me
premises.
finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Secondly, your syllogism in itself, it actually has two premises that which are almost identical. Okay, so we need to have the inference rule regardless. You should know it regardless of where you are in the syllogism.
You said
okay?
they're tautologies. Now you
I'm
said
not
they're
done.
discernible.
I'm not done. All right, Anthony, start from premise one and continue on, Anthony.
We'll do it again. All
right, Anthony.
This is going to be the fifth time I'll repeat it.
Go ahead.
Premise 1, God knows all things. Premise 2, he knows all things. Now with the caveat, the qualifier, that it's from all eternity and he knows all things to their fullest detail. Okay, you with me so far? You agree with me so far? Okay.
Yeah.
Premise 3, we can now say God's, or let me restart because there's something I missed.
Oh, you're gonna
So
restart.
premise 1, hold on, yeah.
So we're gonna
You already
restart
wanted
for
me
the
to restart
sixth
either way.
time because Anthony does not know how to read a syllogism.
Hold on. It's
Oh my
because
God.
See, and this is the part that I don't appreciate. This is the disingenuousness that I don't appreciate, right? You can't have Buddy repeat something 5 times and then say when he missed the premise and he wants to restart so that you can get it, he doesn't know how to do a syllogism. That's just bad faith. Like that's just immature as hell. Like you're asking, first off, you asked you requested a formal syllogism. He's doing it. He did it. You interrupted him, right? You interrupted him. Then he starts over for you. As he starts over, oh, he missed something. Let me start over for you. Actually, now it's you don't know how to make a formal argument or formal syllogism at all. That's just bad faith. That's stupid. That's just bad faith. That's immature.
I don't want you to complain. It's about.
And if anybody disagrees, you're quite literally you're either a Muslim or you're a Muslim.
Anthony does not know how to read a syllogism.
Hold on. Premise 1, God knows all things.
You're so sweet and soft right now, bro. Your tone is.
See what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? Why are you talking about his tone? Do you really want to have the conversation or what? Like, what's up with you? This is weak behavior, and it's behavior that would not happen in actual real life. Like that, nobody acts like that in real life, bruh. Like, for real. If you're having an actual conversation with another grown man that is capable of actual violence or anything along those matters, men typically tend to be gentlemen in person. Case in point, none of the Muslims are on that rah-rah stuff when they go to DebateCon or what's the cause? What's that place in San Diego? Debaters Corner. Is it Debate Corner? Speakers Corner. You know, with the booths and whatnot. They ain't popping off like that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's UK, whatever. Regardless, if real life is real life, weak pheromones, energy, it's really felt for real. Like all that is so stupid. It's giving you these shields of ignorance for no reason. Like, it's giving you too much bliss. I don't. It's just silly, and you don't get anywhere. Like, yeah, cool. You getting your ego fluffed up, but we're not even getting in the conversation anymore. Now we're losing the whole plot about anything. And isn't this why we fight? Is this not the game? to vindicate our theology and disprove the other's theology. And if you're, because we're all in the pursuit of truth, if you have the truth, then it's the truth. Regardless of how I feel about it, it's the truth. But folks just want to be like goofballs on purpose, like weirdos for sure.
Down. You don't
Do you
know
want the
anything.
premises
Read the
or no?
syllogism. Read the syllogism.
I'm
You're their Lord and
saying it-
Savior, and I'm baking you.
I'm saying it from my mind. That's why I want to make sure.
And he's not baking anybody, by the way. And that's another thing. Don't self-delude yourself. That's one of the most annoying things, bro. How are you baking him if you didn't even, you're on the defense? He's on the defense. How can you be baking him? You didn't do anything. I'm literally not being biased. I'm literally on both sides. I've articulated both sides correctly to be objective of what both are doing and how and what the blunders are on both sides, what's childish and what's not right on both sides. B, you're being biased. Get him out your mouth. So anyway, he's not baking anybody. That's silly as hell. Like, what? You're on the defense and you haven't presented any type of refutation. You've just been calling names, calling people dumb, and spazzing out, repeating yourself 10 times in a row. This is like, what is this?
That's your
There's
problem.
no
I'm
complaints.
sorry.
Hold on. Premise 1, God knows all things from all eternity. We agree with that. Premise 2, he knows all things to their fullest extent.
Tell me the
Premise
difference between
three?
premise 1 and premise 2 right now.
Premise 1 is just saying that he knows all things, but it could be defined in different ways. Premise
it
2 is
can't.
now
What are
adding
you
that
talking about?
premise. Yes, because
What are you
someone
talking
can
about?
argue.
Hey,
Someone
hey,
can
hey,
argue he
AJ,
has a.
you know, if you know
Someone
all
can
things,
argue.
you
Hold on,
already
I'm about to show
hate
you.
yourself.
I'm
Oh
about to show
my
you why it's
God,
not the same premise.
He doesn't know
I'm
what
about to show you why it's not the same premise.
Nothing, bro.
I'm
This
about to
guy's
show
the
you.
Lord and
I'm about to
Savior,
show
by
you.
the way,
I'm about to
guys.
show.
My thing is like, bro, if he's wrong, let him be wrong after he says what he says. If he says what he says and then is wrong, then do it. But we're not getting anywhere in the debate. Like, let's move the debate forward. Like all these semantics and theatrics. I'm sorry, not semantics. All these theatrics and bloviations is just like, what the frick, bro?
Show you why it's not the same premise. Because
God.
someone can say God has a general knowledge of all things. So
What?
premise 2 is to
You
make
literally
sure.
said God knows all things.
Hold
in premise 1.
on.
You literally
Hold
said
on.
that. That's not a generality.
Hold
That's a
on.
specification
Hold
of all
on.
things.
Now I will say I don't think that's a generality. If you say God knows all things, that God knows all things. Right? I don't really know what that means as far as general. I don't know what he meant by that.
Hold
No one
on.
interprets it that way.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Someone can argue
This is so
that he has a.
embarrassing.
Someone can argue that he has a general knowledge. Someone can argue has a general knowledge of all
Nobody
things.
interprets
That's
all
why
as general.
Someone
That's a
can. Someone
contradiction.
can, which is why that premise 2 is there.
Nobody does that, sir. That's just your deficient intellect. When you say God knows all things, this means that there is not something that he doesn't
Hold on.
know.
So people who say that
You
are
literally
deficient.
repeating
People who say are
yourself
deficient
redundantly.
because Dean Response told me that. Let's continue.
Oh my God.
And I have the clip of it.
See, now he's lying
I have
about
the
Dean
clip of it.
Response. Hey, listen,
I have the clip of it. But
This is
okay, I'll
embarrassing.
continue. I'll make the premise
Never
better.
said
I'll make the
it.
premise
Okay,
better.
obvious. Dean Response never
make the-
said it. That's all I'm saying.
I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you.
Okay?
Mark my words.
So
I'll
you're
show you
lying.
after this.
You're lying.
Premise
Trivia,
1.
doesn't matter.
Premise 1, because you don't have a defeater yet, but I'll continue. Premise 1.
Defeater for what? The first
God-
two premises that I agree with?
You'll see. I listed much more than that, and then you said it was a
Yeah, yeah,
tautology,
yeah,
and then you
okay.
said they were discernible.
Okay.
But let's continue.
Okay.
Okay. Premise 1, God knows all things from eternity to their fullest extent. Is that good for you?
Yeah, so God knows all things. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Premise 2, God exists, because we define
Oh, he
things.
changed it. He changed it.
Hold on.
See what I'm saying? Like, bro. He said he's gonna make it clearer for you. Why are you now complaining in his clarifications? That's just the childishness. That's childish. But then he wants to complain about people being insufferable. Like, what? That's what I'm saying. Bad faith, bro. He literally said, I'm gonna make it better for you. I'll make it clear for you. And then he's like complaining that he's making it better and clearer. He turns it. Children. He's a kid, bro. That's what I'm talking about. This is literally childish behavior. There's a way people move that's never been like hemmed up before, never been actually hit before. Like, This is so silly. Be an adult. Have a conversation. It is not hard, bruh. It is not hard to be a human being. It is not hard, bro. Like, what is up with this?
Because I combined them in one because you complained.
He knows he fucked up. He knows his blunder.
No, I'm doing it for your sake.
He fixed up like a good boy right there.
I'm trying to be charitable to you. Watch your rhetoric.
Right there.
You're the one who
Go ahead.
complained. You're
Go
the one who
ahead.
complained that the first
God
premise just
exists.
means the same as the second one.
Yeah. Premise two God
Okay.
exists. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're getting
Okay.
baked. Okay.
So far, let me do a first conclusion.
It's just brain rot, bruh. Beat blunder. Oh. They're not real people, bro. This is brain rot rhetoric, literally.
And then we can say by conjunction. Hold on. We can say by conjunction because you already said that knowing all things is completely knowing all the specific of all things. We can now say as a conclusion. We can now say, look, you don't even want to debate the argument anymore. You don't want to debate the argument anymore. So this just looks bad on you considering you've never given a defeater yet.
Quite literally, because he keeps interrupting. And this is what I'm observing. Because Anas keeps interrupting. That tells me, as just another fighter, right? Oh, you don't really want to fight for real. Like, you don't really want to squabble for real because you're afraid if you let me finish my argumentation, you won't be able to present a defeater for it. So you're trying to gather a bunch of lowercase W's, or what you think are lowercase W's, and then self-delude to your audience about you're doing something like quote unquote baking, when there's no possible way you could be baking me when I'm presenting a syllogism. There's no way that you could be baking me when I'm the one that's presenting a polemic through a syllogism. That doesn't make any sense. This is the bad faith debating that Muslims do, which is why I stopped debating Muslims low key. Even though I still squabble a Muslim in time, but this is why I'll be like, but I don't care to debate them. This is what happens. This is insufferable brain rot behavior.
You've never given a defeater yet.
Sure. Go
Okay.
ahead, Anthony. Go ahead. Yeah,
So can we agree as a conclusion that validly follows by conjunction that because all things contains all things and God is a thing that exists, that God knows himself? Can we agree that that's a valid conclusion?
Yes, I can agree with this, yes.
Okay. Now let's continue with the next premise. I said 2, so let me continue with 3. 3, the act of knowing is distinguished from the content of knowledge. Do we agree with that premise?
Not necessarily, and I'll tell you exactly why.
Oh, I have you on clip agreeing.
Yeah, but
Now
I'm going to qualify here what I meant, okay?
Go ahead.
That the act of knowing, listen.
You notice how Agan says, all right, go ahead. Notice the difference. Again, this is an observation. It's not being biased. This is a blatant observation. If the roles were reversed and Anas had Agan on clip agreeing, he would have been, I got you on clip. Oh, I got you on clip agreeing. Now you're changing. Oh, banked. You're getting banked. Look, you can't even understand it. Would have start ripping his pube beard out. Would have start absolutely shoving it and never letting it live down. What does Agan do? Agan says, well, I have you on clip agreeing. Well, okay, but let me clarify what I meant by that. Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. And now we're moving forward with the debate. Bump the theatrics, bump all the other bull, BS, childishness. Okay, go ahead. Fine. Clarify. Because why? As apologists, as actual fighters, we are in pursuit of truth. That's the priority. Truth. We believe we have the truth, so therefore we defend it. But if you're defeating it, what am I supposed to do? Either I conform to you or get stronger. But I'm not going to be a weirdo about it. Like, let's just continue, bro.
The act of knowing it's literally every time it is going to be distinct from the knower, except when it comes to God. Why? Because we understand that God, he knows himself. So therefore, he's the knower, and he's the content that which he is knowing.
Exactly.
understand?
But is knower distinct from known?
Knower is distinct from known depending on who the referent is.
Good. Depending on who the referent is, that's special pleading.
Low key.
What's the
How is
argument for
special
that?
pleading?
What's the argument for that?
Yeah, I'll give you the argument. First, you can even tell me why it's special pleading. You just asserted that. That's the fallacy indicating that
You're saying because God. You're saying because God.
I'm
Hold on.
responding to you.
Oh, yeah,
I'm responding to you. I'm
you
responding to you. Again. Stop talking while I'm
You
talking.
didn't. You said something
Look how
completely different.
insufferable he is.
You now
Let me
shifted it to
finish.
me.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Finish.
Go ahead.
Okay, Potato. Let me finish, Anthony. So we would say that the knower.
Again, look how insufferable he is. Let me finish. All right, go ahead. All right, cool. Potato, Anthony. Like,
Is going to be
why
distinct
why are you calling him a potato? Yeah, been saying he's inseparable, bro. It's...
content of that is known, and I'll give you an example. For example, it doesn't apply to God, right? It doesn't apply to me. It doesn't apply to you. Why? Because I know myself. Who is the knower? Me. What is the content that is being known? Me. Therefore, they are identical. They are absolutely identical. Anthony, there is no distinction.
Hold on. If they're absolutely identical, but you already gave a discernibility between knowing and known. Hold on. You busted yourself.
You busted yourself. I can't even have a conversation with him without interrupting.
You busted yourself.
You're being insufferable. This is why no one comes to your Discord for this very reason, because you are not.
What?
Backtracking. Go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
While I'm talking.
Continue.
Okay. I don't know why I have to talk to you like a dog. Stop talking.
Hold on. Continue.
Okay?
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Don't panic.
Thank you. So the knower, and the content that is found within what is known, they can be identical depending on what you're talking about. Okay, Anthony? And I'll give you an example. Islamic Apex. He is a knower. Islamic Apex knows Islamic Apex. Islamic Apex is what is being known as well, and he is the knower. Therefore, this entails that Islamic Apex is identical to Islamic Apex. Therefore, the knower and what is known within the content is actually in itself the same. And
the issue is that's from a temporal paradigm. That's from a creature, a created temporal understanding of things. That's problematic if you're applying that to your God. Your God is supposed to be atemporal.
Specific context.
Watch
this applies
this.
To you.
Watch
I'm not
this.
done. I'm not done. This applies
Continue.
to God.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This applies to anything that which knows itself. Do you understand? And I do reject that premise.
Good. Watch this. Number one, you said that they're absolutely identical, but you applied already. We have you on clip saying it. You applied a discernibility. You said there's a distinction between knowing and known. That's the first thing. Secondly, in Anas, when you know yourself, you don't know every detail of yourself. You don't know that you're knowing yourself to the fullest extent that you're knowing yourself. You can't have that proposition, Anas. You don't know everything about you. Do you know everything about yourself, Anas? Do you have a full concept of everything which configures you in every way? Yes or no?
Sorry, Agan. I don't think you tracked my answer, right?
Anas, answer. Anas, answer. Anas, answer. Anas, answer. Anas, answer. Anas, answer.
You
Go ahead.
You asked, do I know myself fully? All right?
To the fullest extent.
By this you mean, do I know myself perfectly, meaning everything about myself? The answer is no. But this
then there's discernibility and they're not absolutely identical. Then they're discernible and they're not absolutely identical. You just
That's true.
cut yourself. You just cut yourself. So now you're special pleading because you applied it to God. You cut yourself.
And that's why it's special pleading. Now Agan is being being aggressive about it. I mean, I understand why he's being aggressive about it, because he's had to sit through the inseparability of his opponent. But that is true. Then it's not absolutely identical. Therefore, it's discernible. Therefore, why? Because it's temporal, and there it can't be. Therefore, you're saying now it's special. If you don't apply that to God, though, then it's special pleading.
They're discernible. No, hold on. Now you're about to get exposed. You're about to get exposed. You're about to get exposed. It's done for you. It's done for you. It's done for you. You just applied discernibility. They can be absolutely identical. So now that you already applied discernibility, now that you watch this. Now that you already applied responded.
This is not
You
fair.
already
It's not letting me respond.
You already responded,
Let me
Apex.
respond.
That was exactly
Let
the
me
question I
respond.
asked.
I
That
didn't
was
finish
exactly the
responding.
question I
He's
asked.
interrupting
There,
me because his
there
dumbass
is no
doesn't
extra
know.
qualifier to that true
Yes,
dichotomy.
there is.
You
Let
said
me
a no.
finish. Let me finish. Are
Okay,
you gonna
go
let
ahead.
me
Go
finish?
ahead. Go
Thank
ahead. Go
you.
ahead. Go ahead.
Shut your mouth and let me finish.
Go ahead.
Okay? It's
Go
very
ahead.
simple,
Damage control.
Anthony. I'm gonna break it down, Anthony. Okay? This is exactly why this hypothetical, it can only be perfectly, or not this hypothetical, sorry, this concept, it is applied perfectly to God. Why? Because we know God knows exactly everything about himself. This is why I
Exactly.
told you, let me finish. Let me finish.
Amen. That's why the Son
Let
has
me
the same
finish.
essence as the
Let me
Father.
finish. Are you gonna let me finish?
Bingo.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
That doesn't even follow. You're a dumbass. Let me finish.
It does. You'll see.
God, you're gonna say that God, he knows himself to the to perfection, meaning that he knows himself exactly how he is in reality. Therefore, here we can understand and agree that the knower and what is known is
They said people who have either been in an octagon/ring don't talk like that, by the way. Absolutely correct.
absolutely identical. And
You're absolutely correct. People that know what it's like to be in an actual physical altercation don't speak like this. Like, not like this. You can pop off. Especially if you got it like that. You can pop off, but this is just like, bro, you have no awareness of danger for real. Like,
why did I
bro.
bring
Then why did you
humans
apply
up? I'm
distinction?
not done. Oh my God. Let me
You
finish.
applied distinction.
Let me finish.
You applied
Let
sameness
me
and
finish.
distinction.
I gotta respond to that. Let me finish. What's
To
wrong with
respond.
you? You interrupted. How am I going to?
Go ahead.
Stop
Go ahead.
talking. This guy's panicking, bro. When I applied it to humans, right? I know myself. What is being known is myself. But it is not disagreed upon the fact that I don't know myself perfectly, right? But here, what we do is we can grant that I know everything about myself. If I knew everything about
Why
myself,
would I
it
grant
would
that?
be true. Listen, let me finish. Let me finish. This is
What?
exactly why I'm qualifying, because your dumbass doesn't understand the difference between me
Yeah, if we
qualifying
grant
something
an
and
impossibility,
me
yeah.
simply stating something. Let me finish. We would say that me, myself, I don't know exactly everything about myself to the absolute T, to a molecular level, right? No one disagrees with that. There's a consensus on that, right? But what I do actually agree with is that if I know myself and I perfectly knew myself, then it would very much be the case that that it is identical, meaning the knower, identical to what is being known. Thus, regardless whether this point matters to you or not, I disagree with the premise, because I disagree that for all x, if x is the knower, then x is distinct from what is known within the content. Because
Anas.
God, if we let me finish, if we substitute God here, then it wouldn't follow, and that
Thank you.
proposition would be false.
Thank you. I'm gonna ask
Or
you
the
one
by
question.
conditional, sorry. The
I'm
by
gonna ask you
conditional.
one question. It's gonna send you on a complete tangent. I'm predicting
Sure,
it. One
sure,
question.
Anthony, sure.
Did
Sure,
you
Anthony.
tell me? Did you tell me that knowing is distinct from known? The act of knowing in God is distinct from known?
I told you that God knowing himself
Yes or no?
and what is known. Wait, God
I want a
knowing
yes or no,
himself.
please.
Let me
So we don't
finish.
yell over each other.
Let me
Yes or no?
finish. Just repeat your question, bro.
Okay. Yes or no? This is a true dichotomy. You either told me this or you didn't. Okay. Even if you you meant it in a different way, you qualified. If it's not that.
Question, dude.
Okay, good. Did you tell me God's active knowing is distinct from the content of knowledge which is known?
And by that, are you referring to God, what he knows specifically?
Himself, yes. Anything. That can actually be general, actually. Yeah. It's his active knowing.
I don't understand the question. Sorry, it doesn't make sense.
Is God's active knowing going to be distinct from the content of knowledge which is known?
From the content that which is known? Yeah, of course. And I'll give you an example, right?
Good.
So, for example, God, let me qualify so you don't straw man. Yeah, like what God knows, we're going to say that it is the majority of the time, it's going to be the case that which God knows something, it is not going to be the case that he's identical to it, right? So, for example, I'm a content that is found within God's knowledge, meaning that God knows who I am, and I'm not identical to God. Therefore, here in this explicit example, Anthony, God
Yeah.
is the knower, and that which is known is NS, and therefore NS is not God, and therefore your example doesn't follow.
Good. Okay. So his active knowing is only distinguished from the content of knowledge which is known in specific instances. In that case, sure, I'll grant that. I'm asking about the actual general axioms. In God, is knowing something going to be distinct from the thing that is known? In God generally. I'm not talking about particular instances. The general axiom, because this is a general question. I'm
So
not
what
saying in
general
this
axiom?
particular
What
instance.
general axiom? Which one? Which general
That's why I'm
axiom?
asking. I want to see if you establish this as an axiom. Does God's active knowing, is that going to be distinguished from what's known as a general rule?
Okay. When you say general rule, I'm gonna qualify here, right? God, everything he knows, that which he knows that is founded on the content of the knowledge and him being the knower, that is going to be distinct from except himself.
Good.
Except.
Okay.
Right? So I'm not done, I'm almost done. Therefore, God knowing everything, we're going to understand that he's the knower, and what is being known is distinct except for him knowing himself, because him knowing himself to the T, it's going to be the case that it follows that what is known and the knower are identical. Every other case, it does not follow.
So then Agen's point is proven that that's called special pleading. By definition, it's called special pleading. Literally.
You understand?
Okay, good. So because he's going to know himself to its fullest extent, the rule gets abolished. Why couldn't you say he knows himself to the fullest extent, and the only distinction now would be know versus knowing? Why are you now collapsing it?
Wait, I just told you. I just answered that.
Your justification was that. Hold on.
Hey,
Hold on. Let me clarify, Apex.
The syllogism's not going anywhere.
Here's what specifically I'm asking. You're panicking again.
I'm panicking. Okay. I'm asking you to bring the syllogism.
Watch. Apex. Is God's active knowing going to be distinct from known? You said yes in those particular instances, except when he knows himself, because he knows himself to the T. Why couldn't he know himself to the T and thus have sameness in one category and distinction in the other? That distinction would be what you already conceded, which is that generally God's knowledge is going to be distinct from that which the act of knowing.
Dude, I agree with you, Agen, and let me qualify. I completely agree
with what?
That is, I'll tell you. Listen. Carefully understand what I am telling you. Okay? I am telling you that I agree with the very idea that generally it is the case that which is being taken right now, what is being examined, that God himself, he knows everything, and what is in the set of him knowing it, set theoretically, we're going to say that God himself, knowing all of these things, nothing is identical to what is being known to God except for God knowing himself.
But I'm not asking about the particular instances. I'm just asking,
dude,
is the known identical to the knowing?
It depends.
Not the particular instances. Good. So now you say it depends. You know why you're saying it depends? Because you're special pleading. So now, what's the argument? What's the argument? Okay, what's the argument now that God knowing himself, even to the absolute T, because I agree with that. He knows himself to the absolute T. Why does that force now knowing to be identical?
Yeah, Nas is literally, he's literally just walking on eggshells. He's he doesn't want to fully commit, because if he fully commits, then it's over. But the issue that Agen is trying to point out is that if he does not fully commit, then he's special pleading. And he can't show how it's not special pleading. This is the point.
Identical to known. Why does that force that?
No, look, it does not completely shift the principle that direction.
But does it force an identity?
I understood your question.
Yes or no? Does it force the identity there? Does it force the identity?
Dude, it is not completely
force. Good. If it doesn't completely force it in the case of God knowing himself, watch this. Watch this. If it doesn't complete,
dude, I'm literally a guest in your server. Let me respond. No, I didn't. You're constantly cutting me off.
Piety signaling. I'm literally a guest in your server. Come on, bro. You a guest and you calling him all types of dumbasses and this and that and that. Okay, come on, man. Don't play. Come on, like you gonna play the cards. Don't play the don't disrespect me card if you disrespect. Like what are we doing?
This is looking terrible.
Apex. Here's the conclusion. Here's the conclusion from here. Yes, I will. Here's the conclusion from what you just told me. If you're saying even in the case where God is knowing himself and the content of knowledge which is known, even in that case, it's not going to collapse in absolute identity. You said that by your own words. There's still going to be discernibility there, even in God knowing himself. Then you applied identity by knowing himself to the absolute.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so it is identical.
Dude, this is why you have to let me qualify, because you constantly comment and you're constantly overspeaking me.
Go ahead.
Okay? Muzzle yourself. Okay?
Go ahead.
God, we say that the principle that which the knower and what is known is distinct. This applies to things that are not himself. And I'll tell you exactly what I mean. Okay, the domain in which this applies is the domain in which everything that which exists except God himself, right? And then the domain for which God, or for which the knower is what is known, is going to be the domain of God himself and only God,
I
meaning
caught
that
that.
God, let me finish, this means that God is the only thing that which is the knower, and him knowing himself creates the fact that the content of what is known is himself, which does not create a discernibility. It is an indiscernibility. Therefore, in this very specific example, God is the knower, and he is also
Good.
what is known
I
because
got
he
that.
knows. I'm almost done, dude. I'm almost done. Okay.
Continue.
And every other thing, every other thing that which we bring to the example, for example, God knows everything. If we take away the fact of him knowing himself, then he is not identical to anything that which is known. Do you understand?
I agree. I agree. So this is
Good.
why I asked that question. Good. This is why I asked that question. That in that specific case of God knowing and God being known, in that specific case, now I'm talking about the action and the content. Do they now become identical? Clear yes, right?
The action
Knowing and
is
known becomes
literally,
identical when it's introspective.
dude. I don't believe God knowing himself is an action.
Okay, you said it's active. Let's use that word. Is that
Like what?
active
How
knowing?
is it an
Is that
action
active?
anyway, dude?
Is
Like,
that
this is
active knowing? Is
different.
that active knowing identical to that which is known in that
What is it?
particular
What is
instance where God is
an
introspective?
act of knowing? What do you mean by
Answer
that?
the question. Active. That's what I've been saying the whole time. Is
Okay,
the active knowing
listen, dude,
Apex?
dude,
I didn't finish my question. Apex, I didn't finish my question. Is the active knowing identical to the content of knowledge which is known in this particular case where God knows himself?
dude. I don't believe that the act of knowing is identical to God. Okay.
Is it wait
But I'm
active
answering
knowing
you.
and
I'm
the content
answering
of
you. Oh
knowledge?
my goodness.
That's not my question. That's
Dude,
not my question.
your literal question was, is
Repeat
God,
it.
or you said, is the act of knowledge here
Shaw said this is mainly metaphysics, right? Yeah. Yeah.
specifically identical to what is being known, correct?
Yes, the active knowing.
Okay,
The
so
active.
you are not tracking. I'm literally tracking what you're saying. So stop talking and muzzle yourself. You don't have
I
to
didn't
worry
say
about me
act.
tracking
I didn't
because
say
I'm
act
all
of.
ears. I am
I
literally
didn't say
listening.
apex. I didn't say act of. I said
Dude, you said
active.
active knowledge.
Yes.
Yes, active.
Yes.
Okay, is the
So what's your
active
answer?
knowledge identical to what is being known?
In
Do
the
you
particular
okay?
case of God. In the particular
Okay,
case of God
and
knowing himself.
by active knowledge, do you mean what he knows?
The active knowledge, him exercising knowing towards himself. Like we've been
So
using
him
it the
knowing
past time.
himself, is him knowing them is listen, is him knowing himself the same as what is being known?
Yes.
Okay, they are ontologically reduced, but they are semantically distinct. And I'm going to tell you exactly what that means.
Whoa.
Okay, we believe that obviously we don't believe in absolute.
Hold on. We gonna let him. We gonna let him finish. But wait a minute. Let's just rewind that real quick.
Okay, they are ontologically reduced.
All that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that they have the same ontology. They are the same thing if we reduce them down to their very essence.
But they are semantically distinct.
They're semantically distinct, meaning basically there's a distinction between them as far as what you're talking about. But for all intents and purposes, if you reduce them down, they are the same thing.
And I'm going to tell you exactly what that means. Okay, we believe that
Which is what you normally, he might mean something else, but this is what it normally means.
obviously we don't believe in absolute divine simplicity, so by definition there is a distinction. But the content, the answer to both of these, to these analogs, is God, and God meaning that there's an ontological reduction of the following example.
Wait,
I'm not
Apex.
done, bro. Muzzle yourself.
Apex.
Muzzle
Okay,
yourself.
continue.
Muzzle
Continue.
yourself. Thank
It's
Hold
over.
your tongue,
Continue.
bro. You're a grown
I already see what's about that.
man. Hold your tongue.
Continue.
Okay, thank you. So there's still a semantical distinction due to the very fact of how you worded it. There's a syntactical difference. Okay, since there's a syntactical difference, it is going to be the case that it's semantically distinct.
So basically he's saying because you said different words, therefore there's a difference between the knower and what is known. Because you said different words. What is known and nowhere aren't the same word. So there's a difference between those two. But they're gonna be reducing down to the same thing ontologically. You see where this is going?
The syntactical difference is what makes us say that there's not an absolute identity in these two different things. Do you understand?
Okay, good. So like you said, because we don't affirm absolute divine simplicity, there's going to be some type of distinction. Therefore, there's not going to be absolute identity. Therefore, there's not going to be indiscernibility. Thus, you just busted yourself. Watch this. In that syntactical distinction, you already conceded that known is posterior logically to the knowing. So because of that discernibility, you have identity in essence, meaning God and God, like you said, they're going to be reducible in that category. But because you applied a discernibility between knowing and known, you just affirmed a hypostatic distinction and an essential unity. You're a Christian now. It's over. You're
Hey. So we can break that down a little bit. Anas himself said God and God. That's not false. We're gonna break it down real quick. He himself said that which is known in the knower are reducible ontologically, meaning they're the same thing from an ontological standpoint. That is just what we would call consubstantiality. Consubstantiality. Yet, he says that there's a syntactical difference, which simply means, right, the knower is not the known. He said because they're using different words, is what he said. He's using different words. Therefore, there's a syntactical, the difference between the known and the knower. Same, different words, so there obligates some type of distinction, but you're really just referring to the same thing. Hagen is saying, cool, awesome, we agree. Because from our paradigm, the Father and the Son are the same ontology. They are the same ontological thing. They are the same thing. So there is a school of thought. It's not school. There is a articulation that when you refer to the Father, refer to the Son, you're referring to the same thing. That would be God. Now, the damage control, moot. Nothing but respect for you, brother, but you are damaging control. You're saying Anas is referring to someone individual. It doesn't matter if he's now making further qualifications. It doesn't follow from the example of what he said. He said that which is known and the knower are ontologically reducible, but there's a syntactical difference. There's a syntactical distinction. So he's still making a distinction regardless. And that distinction is real. Has to be. Which is it for all intents and purposes. Oh, a syntactical. You think? Okay, hold on. Let's see. He says a syntactical distinction isn't real. Okay, let's see. Let's just verify. Could be wrong. It literally says it depends on what you mean by real. There's no consensus. The question of whether syntactical distinction is a real distinction is a complex philosophical issue, largely depending on how one defines syntactical and real. There's no single universally agreed upon answer. Let's see what he continues says. I say
a Christian.
Wait. I want you to put that forth syllogistically, please. Go ahead. Because we affirm that there's a conceptual distinction between the two. This is why we're saying they're ontological.
You said,
dude,
it's only conceptual.
Listen. Let me finish. Okay, it is going to be a conceptual. Yes, because we're saying knowledge is conceptual. Knowledge is something that which doesn't float in the air, that which is like something that you can like examine and touch, right? So we're gonna see that knowledge.
But wouldn't he have to say then that the concept or the icon or the thing by which the thing that is produced from God knowing himself is only a concept then?
It's something that which is conceptual, right? So with that being said, let me finish. It's a conceptual distinction, meaning that they are still ontologically reduced, but there's a semantical distinction. Now, please provide it syllogistically because you're not able to
watch this. I'm gonna refute what you just said. 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 Is that conceptual? Does that conceptual distinction have foundation in reality, or is it posterior to an active intellect?
Can you give the syllogism so you're running?
That conceptual distinction, you're not answering.
He don't want to engage in it.
You're a Christian and you can't. You're a Christian.
Because if it has foundation in reality, then it has to be real. It has to be concrete.
Now and you can't answer. You're a Christian now and you can't answer. You just denied your God. You denied your God. You denied your God. Apex, you denied your God. I'm gonna refute you what you just said, Apex.
Are you gonna give the syllogism?
Apex, I'm gonna refute what you just said.
Nah, it ain't no depending on how you understand reality, mute. If it's real, if it's in reality, if it's real, it's actual, it's concrete. It's done.
I'm gonna refute what you just said.
This is why he's panicking right now. It's done.
Apex, I'm gonna refute what you just said, Apex. Apex, is that conceptual distinction posterior to an active intellect, or does it have foundation?
Wait, so do you think that things that are concepts aren't existing in reality? Concepts aren't real. They're concepts. They're not in reality. Yeah, if you mean by instrumentally just in the mind, well, if it's in the mind, it's in the mind. It's not like in reality. Because if it's not, right? If you believe that that's the case, then you would have to say that creation is essentially eternal, uncreated. Because creation technically is just an abstract, will be an abstract within Allah's mind. Unless he's saying Allah at one point did not know us at one point in time, at one point in his existence. So then, therefore, we always existed. No, because there's an extra mental difference between that which is Allah and that which is separate to Allah. I don't think that has anything to do with what I said, though. Allah knows us. I'm sure you would agree. He always knows us. I'm sure you would agree. Unless we always existed, based off of what you're saying, then there's a time in which we didn't exist at all. But under your paradigm, there's no such thing. We always existed in some way. So, I don't know. That's just kind of absurd. What is creation then?
Reality.
Anthony, conceptual distinction.
Answer the question.
Dude, listen, Anthony, I'm gonna answer your question, but as soon as I answer your question, you have to promise that you're gonna give the syllogistic arguments.
Hurry up and answer.
Are you going to provide the arguments after or not?
Whether or not I provide the syllogism, you already conceded.
Existing is actualization, bro. And if existing isn't actualization, and existence, you don't need to be actualized to exist, then we can say we always existed. That's the whole point.
Okay, no. What are you talking about, Anthony? Listen, bro. Listen. To be fair, bro,
Yeah, concepts existing. The existence of a concept will be its actualization. That's why we don't say that concepts exist per se. Concepts can be actualized, and then therefore now it exists, right? Like a unicorn is a concept. It don't exist. A unicorn doesn't actually have existence. Flying pigs are a concept. They don't actually exist. You know what I mean? But again, you're saying that they do exist, but they just exist instrumentally. Okay, well then you can't really we can't really say something doesn't ever not exist, including creation. That's the whole point.
I've begot you today, okay? You have not been able to provide the
No,
argument.
it's identical.
right?
Don't worry.
Right. Jared said if it did exist, it would no longer be a concept, right? Exactly. Correct.
It's identical.
After I give the answer, right? After I give the answer.
For example, contradictions don't exist, right? Like the thing, the concept of contradiction, right? That thing in and of itself, it doesn't exist in reality, which is why it can govern reality. It can't happen, right? It's a flaw if it's happening. You know what I mean? So point.
And since
And
I
Allah begot
you
a son,
today,
by the way.
you are
Allah begot a
required-
son.
Listen. You
Like a cup being completely full and completely empty doesn't exist. It can't be.
You
are
denied it was
required-
absolute
you are
identity. You affirmed
required-
discernibility.
Listen,
Is that discernibility conceptual or prior to active intellect?
Hey, listen.
Is that
Listen,
discernibility?
Dude, let me finish. You are so
Apex-
insufferable. The worst
Apex
Christian
answer.
apologist. Listen,
Apex answer.
firstly, we would say, listen, after I answer this, I do
Have a good one,
expect
Nahum.
a argument. And by the way, you cannot concede to
I
something that is not
provided
an
it.
argument.
I provided it.
You cannot concede to something that is not an
I
argument
provided
by
it.
definition. Since you haven't given an argument, there is no concession.
I gave an
dumbass,
argument.
All right, Anthony.
I've been
Hey,
giving an
listen, son.
argument. I've been giving an argument. And you
Listen, son.
conceded.
You're asking questions. That's not an argument, son. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Your God has a
I'm
son.
sorry
Your
that
God has
you're
a
not
son.
able to
Your God
identify
has a
this way.
son. Your God has a son.
You're Ibn Anas. You're Ibn
And
Anas.
Ibn
now.
Allah is the
You're-
son of God,
you're-
the word
you're
of God,
Ibn
who you
Anas.
just
You're my
conceded is
son
begotten by
now.
the Father.
You're Agent Ibn Anas. That's what everyone's calling you in my chat.
And
You've
the son
embarrassed
is the son
yourself.
of God the Father.
Embarrass
And you
yourself.
conceded it.
You're embarrassing yourself. So I'm
You
going to answer your
conceded.
question now. You said, does this conceptual... Hey, listen. Stop talking. Thank you. Good boy. So
Go ahead.
far as you asking... Hey, stop talking. Thank you, Anthony. So
Go ahead.
far as you asking the question, is the conceptual distinction based in reality or not? Is that your question, sir? Because you asked.
Yes.
Is it based... Okay.
Is it
and by
posterior
based-
to an active intellect, or is it also having a foundation in reality extramentally?
Okay, so you're asking, is this something that which is different instrumentally or different extramentally, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to say, obviously, since it is a conceptual distinction, it is going to be something that which is instrumentally distinct, hence exactly why I told you that they are ontologically
Watch this.
reduced.
Watch
Let me-
this.
Watch this. Yo, watch this. You're
Watch
getting
it. Why did
bubble
you deny
face.
absolute identity? Why did you
Hagen,
deny
Hagen,
absolute
Hagen,
identity?
Hagen,
Why
Hagen,
did you
stop
deny absolute
talking.
identity?
Look,
Why
stop
did you
while I'm
deny
talking,
absolute
guys.
identity?
It's impossible. It's impossible
Apex.
to talk to this
Apex,
guy.
why did you
Can
deny
you stop
absolute
talking?
identity?
Can you stop talking? Can you stop talking? Okay? So they are conceptually distinct, instrumentally, of course, because that's what conceptual means. That's what it picks out it picks out the intellect. Therefore, there's going to be an instrumental distinction. It's something that which is in the mind. Henceforth, that's exactly why we believe that they are still ontologically reduced, yet the conclusion is that they are semantically distinct. Now,
Apex,
Anthony,
did you deny absolute identity?
Now, Anthony,
Smooth. I don't know what you're asking about the mud about the Father. I don't know what you mean by that.
can you give the argument?
Did you deny
Son.
absolute identity? Did you deny
Give the
absolute identity?
argument. Give the
Did you
argument.
deny absolute identity?
Are you gonna give the between what?
Did you deny absolute identity? You know what?
Between
You
what
know.
and
You know.
what?
You know between what? Don't act dumb.
Between
You know
what?
between
Dude,
what?
your question's unqualified, dude.
You know exactly
Your
between what?
question's unqualified.
Why?
I think
You
you
just
forgot
said.
yourself.
You just said they're ontologically reducible,
bro,
but
listen,
earlier
bro.
you said there's no
Hey,
absolute
listen, bro.
identity.
Are you gonna qualify what you're saying or not, bro?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know.
Is there a distinction between knower and known regarding the Father? I'm pretty sure that would just be reciprocal from the Son to the Father. I'm not sure though, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty sure what we say is the same thing that's applied to the Father and the Son would be from the Son to the Father. They behold each other in each other. Well, I don't know what you mean. How I don't know how it's an infinite regress. If it's not an infinite regress, it's an economic circle. Right, so it doesn't. I don't really know what you mean. How is that an infinite regress?
You know why?
This
Because
guy
you
doesn't
said they're
even know what he's
ontological.
talking about. You don't even
Those
know what
terms
you're
which-
picking out.
Apex.
Are you gonna pick?
Apex.
Are you gonna tell me what you're picking out? Are you gonna tell?
The Son doesn't precede the Father. I don't think the Son would need to precede the Father, though. That's the whole point. As far as since it's a reciprocal thing, I don't see how it would need to.
Yeah,
me
the
that
father, the Father and the Son, which you conceded, are not absolutely identical. That's what
The
I'm picking
Father-
out.
So we're talking about
Yes.
the Trinity now.
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about when you conceded the Trinity.
Oh, we're talking about the Trinity now, the Father and the Son.
You just
Are
affirmed
you
them.
stupid?
Did Nanas not understand that's what was happening? The whole beginning of the the whole beginning of the debate was about how the Trinity is necessary, logically necessary. That was the whole point. Like what? What? He didn't realize what he was debating about this entire time?
You
Are you
just
okay?
affirmed them. You want to know why? You want to know? You want to know why you affirmed them? Because you affirmed. You
Pagan,
affirmed a
this is exactly
discernibility
why I'm
extramentally in a. You affirmed
I'm asking
discernibility
you, please
extramentally
provide a
in manner of
syllogism.
existence.
You can't
Apex.
even
I'll tell you
try.
why.
Did this guy say the
Apex.
Father and the Son?
Apex.
Hey,
Apex.
if I don't hear the argument in 5 minutes, I'm gone.
Leave. Get out of here. You already conceded.
I'm waiting for
Leave.
the argument. How do you concede to
Bye-bye.
a non-argument?
I'll tell you
Not
why.
even an
You're about to
argument.
find out why. You're
You're
about to find out
slow.
why.
Give the
Apex,
argument.
you're dodging.
Give
Apex,
the
you're
argument.
dodging. I'll tell you why. I'll
Thanks
tell
for
you
the
why.
clip.
You just said,
dodging
clip
today.
it.
Give me
We
the
have you
argument.
conceding the Trinity.
Give me the argument.
Okay, watch this. Watch this. I'm
Premise
gonna
one.
ask you one question. I'm gonna ask you one
no
question.
questions. Oh my gosh, no.
Did you
premise one.
deny? Did
No
you
premise
deny
one.
absolute identity?
Sorry. So I don't hear premise one. I'm sorry.
Did you deny
Sorry.
absolute identity?
Son, you do what your father says.
Did
Premise
you
one.
deny absolute identity?
Premise
It is childish at this point, bro.
one. Another
Did
unqualified.
you deny absolute
Please
identity?
give Premise one.
Do you
premise one.
deny absolute
Look, guys,
identity?
it's so embarrassing. He's not giving the argument. He's not giving
Apex,
the
you
argument.
have to answer
Give
this.
the argument. Give the
Apex,
argument.
you have to answer this. Do you
If I
deny
answer
absolute
it-
identity?
If I answer this, will you give an argument?
Did you deny absolute identity? I'm
Will
not
you
going to
give
make
an
deals and
argument?
bargains with you. You
Okay,
answer
so
like
you're
you're in
not
the
gonna
trap
give an
you're in right
argument.
now.
Give an
You're in
argument.
the trap. You're the one who
Give an
answers. I'm not
argument.
going to make bargain deals with a
Give
hostage.
an argument.
Did you deny?
Give an
Did you
argument.
deny? Did you deny absolute identity?
Give an argument. Stop asking
Did
infinite
you
questions.
deny absolute
The same way your
identity?
God doesn't stop
Did
speaking
you
and talking
deny
and moving.
absolute identity?
Yeah, sir. Are you going to give an argument?
Yes. Did you deny
Are you
absolute
gonna give an
identity? You just said yes. You
I didn't
just
say
said
yes.
yes. You,
Are you going to give an
so
argument?
did you deny absolute? So it's a no. You
Are
didn't
you
deny
gonna give an
absolute identity.
argument?
Did you
Hey,
deny
again,
absolute identity?
again. One more time. If you don't give an argument, I'm going to respect myself, take my clips, and post you and leave. Do you
One
have
more
a
time.
syllogistic? Do
One
you
more
have a
time.
formal
I'm gonna ask the
argument
question.
for your
One more
prompt?
time.
Yes.
One
or
more time.
No? You have
One
an
more
argument
time.
that is formal from
One-
your prompt.
One more time. I'm gonna ask very simply because you are on the ropes.
Let's see if it gives
Did
an
you
argument. guys.
deny? Did you deny absolute identity?
Good. So no argument. Thanks, Hagen. I appreciate you for the
Get out of
clip.
here.
You
Bye
embarrassed yourself.
bye.
You got
Bye.
blah, blah,
Thank
blah,
you for
blah.
conceding the
You were
Trinity.
able to defend your
Welcome
actual
to Christianity.
embarrassed. Thank you. And I'm sorry. I don't
Welcome to Christianity.
like to worship man. I don't worship man.
Welcome to you.
They do worship men, by the way.
You're right. You worship the word of God. We can talk about the incarnation after how the second person you just conceded incarnated. Thank you. We'll talk about the incarnation because right now you affirm the Son. I'll prove to you how he incarnated. Welcome to Christianity. Get out of here. He dropped. Look, a coward he is. He affirmed discernibility and then he affirmed indiscernibility. The moment he affirmed discernibility, he conceded the Son of God. Glory be to God. Glory to God. He affirmed difference in hypostases, discernibility and hypostatic properties, the mode of existence. He affirmed identity to the T. That is in the essence. He affirmed one essence, distinct persons.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, that was
In a world
Oop,
drowned.
sorry. That was that was the debate between Hagen and Anas. Man, yeah, that was bad for Anas, but I think that it was more bad for Anas because of his character, not necessarily. I mean, he did for sure concede as far as like he didn't realize it, but he could have had a stronger defense if he just wasn't acting like a dickhead, like wasn't being weird on purpose. Then it would have been he could have had a better defense. But yeah, no, for all intents and purposes, yeah, he got body slammed for sure, 100%. But you know, man, listen, this is what happens in squabbles. We squabble to live, to squabble another day. He'll go back in the gym, get better, get stronger, come and squabble again. That's what it is. You know? It is what it is. That was like Green Goblin beating up Spider-Man at the end of the first one. That's funny. scratching and scraping. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I just love being Trinitarian. Yeah. It only makes sense. I mean, remember, y'all. I'm still baffled by the fact they think their God has accidents. I'm still. I don't know. I don't know who told him that was okay. But whatever. Whatever. All right. Oh man, I need to take a nap. all that childish behavior got me tired. Plus, I'm coming back from school. Having accident, yeah, basically, the God has properties that can change. Basically, nope, still no ops. But Nick is live right now, so it's all good. All right, y'all. Like I said, it's not. I may be live later today. We'll see. Or I might be in some other people's lives. Like I might be headhunting some ops later. You'll see. But all right, y'all. God bless you all in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. All right. Be safe. See safe.